Check, Chuffy 1 2. Check, Chuffy. Check, Chuffy 1 2. Emergency. Emergency. Check, Chuffy. Emergency. I haven't even tweeted it. Let me tweet it. Let me tweet it up. Emergency. Big ups, Jojo. Emergency. Things are all happening. Things are all happening. Things are all happening now. What we've got for you tonight is Angry Alan's been in court, and I should have more energy for it. I should be more up. But Angry Alan's been in court, so he's going to tell us all about it, and we're going to talk all about it. Why is that so chuffy loud in the background? What's wrong with my relaxing back? It's not relaxing that very loud, is it? There you go, turn that down. Judgment Day for Alan. Judgment Day for Alan. I need to tweet. I jumped on late. I was having a chit chat with some friend. With some friend. With some friend. I'm going live now. And I'm feeling poorless as well, but don't worry about me. Worry about yourselves, you mad chuffers. I'm going live now. I need to tweet about it. All I need to do is, what I'm trying to do in my brain is set up a damn tweet. Look, you're up in chat. You're up in chat. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. I see your questions. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Excuse me. I've been talking to my legal team. Wait, what I need to do is I need to do a tweet. Let me show you my legal team. Show you my legal team. And this is my legal team. Right, I need to do a tweet to say that this is my legal team. I need to do a tweet to say that we're streamers. Alan Court Streamis. Right, that's good. Let's open up a window on YouTube so I can see my stream and get the copy of the link. View my channel. You're viewing it now. There it is. Angry Alan's Court in session. That's me doing the talking. By me. Alan's Court Streamis. There you go. Just post that. You love it. And then what about the thumbnail that I've just done, which is, I think it's a good one. Don't you? Don't you think the thumbnail's a good one? I think it's a good one. Where's that thumbnail? Oh no. Does it matter? Where is it and does it matter? Yes, I love it. So where is it? It doesn't matter. Oh. My new thumbnail. My new picture for my thumbnail. I was just doing it. I wanted to show it you. You've seen it. I want it on the screen. Stupid Scott. How have I done that? Talk amongst yourselves. Where's my new thumbnail picture? Right, I'll tell you how I'll do it. Forget that. Forget that. I'll just do this. He's going live on Rumble, so we're going to have a watch what he says. I'll play... what am I doing? View my channel. I'm a bit discombobulated. Angry Alan's Court session. Look, yeah, objection. Look, this is a good thumbnail. This is a good thumbnail. One of the best. Proper banger. Objection. Objection. Jay. Come on. So, let's talk court. Let's talk court, you chuffers. Let's talk court. Yes, oh wait, before we talk court, I've got some new buttons for you. I should get on, I should just start playing his court thing first, shouldn't I? We're waiting for him to come on here. Maybe I should just jump onto his court thing. Or should we talk court first? I suppose we talk court first. So, basically... it is a criminal offence. It's a contempt of court. It's an offence in the UK to broadcast the reason that we've got access to the court is because during COVID they gave people public access to the court, yeah. But I think it's like, video style. I think it's illegal for me to broadcast it. I think if I do it on the stream now and just broadcast the video of him in the court, then I think I'm just opening myself up to a problem, like a proper problem. However, as you've seen recently with some other legal things, it isn't illegal to talk about it, to transcribe it, to show pictures of sketches and things. So immediately I've started the ball rolling behind the scenes with a friend. It might be a bit of a project that we have to accomplish. Right? It might not happen overnight, but I was thinking some artificial intelligence or some intelligent intelligence. We can put together a read through. We can get a we can put together a read through, and we can get a few images together, and we can create something that will, at least in essence, recreate it. Now, it was live. You could have got a link yourself. We didn't broadcast and make a big thing of it. However, it's not over. As you'll see today, it's not over. So you still have a chance to get in and watch some live Alan in the court. On the other hand, you will have access to it yourself because it will be publicly accessible. So we'll talk later briefly, maybe not later when I find out more about it, but we'll find out, I don't know. I'm not legal expert on like accessing the court documents and being not sued on the internet, am I? But we will find a way of getting you acquainted with it so that you can see it if you're like hellbent. And with these things, sometimes with these things they end up on some sort of dodgy Chinese website or something, and then like you might be able to watch it there. So have a little patience with the internet and see what happens. But tonight's entertainment is going to be Alan live on his Rumble, and thankfully, oh shit, my Teams call is, I just noticed my Teams call is still open. I better close that. Fuck. I hope they weren't listening to what I was saying then. No. Use your brain, Scott. Use your brain. So in our midst, there is a cat of the most curious kind who was able to both watch it and also transcribe it touch type. So he's able to read through what's happened in the court. So we've got a copy that you can hear the ins and outs, what happened, basically word for word. So don't worry, we've got that. It's a legal version. And if you're here and you're thinking, no, I can't get to watch the video, bear in mind, like, do I want to find myself in contempt of court before I've even stepped foot in the place? Please give me a little bit of a break. But I'm working behind the scenes to make sure that there are 3 different ways, optional ways that you can access this. Here is one. Curious Cat's done a good job. We're going to broadcast it. We're going to talk about it as long as that, there is also going to be some sort of recreation. And talking of recreations, I want to press this button. I so want to press this button, but I know it's wasting time and you want to hear court stuff. But a certain somebody has been sending me messages behind the scenes.
Nickeldam Kessinger demands her kissy with Scotty Hottie.
Oh my God.
Alan, do you want me to walk into your life wearing my clip-clop shoes and my brown bikini? Listen up, Alan, you bastard. You are never getting my clip-clop shoes or my kissy. I am Nickeldam Kessinger and I demand my kissy from Scotty Hottie. I want him to sex me off a proper good one. I need some kissy from Super Chuffer. Alan, you are a worm and you lose at poker all the time.
Me smoking weed is not like a major thing, whereas contempt of court, showing outright. I'm a media producer and I request access to the court, and then I go and show outright contempt of court by broadcasting it illegally that same evening. I think there is a step over the line for me. Like, I make documentaries and I'm going to continue to do so in the future, and I'm going to request access to other things in the future. So, like, if it's legal, okay, but don't worry, you will find a way. Or actually, listen to me talking on the internet and being absolutely the right side of the law, but these sort of things sometimes come out on the internet, don't they? So, like, just chill, right?
Nickel-Dam Kessinger demands her kissy with Scotty Hottie.
And also, it's not finished yet. We want to go through the whole process. We want to make sure we've got it all, don't we?
Nickel-Dam Kessinger demands her kissy with Scotty Hottie.
It's not media access only. It's public access, so you can get access. Like, if you really want to watch it, you can send them an email and they can give direct. I think it'd be either online or in the court. Like, you can go somewhere and sit and watch it, but you're not precluded access. But I'm precluded from publishing it. So, and there's going to be more to come. Like, so as things come in the future, I suspect more and more people will be in the Zoom calls, if they're Zoom calls, or they might be in person next time. So we might have details of where it is, and there might even be the case that it's quite reasonable to go there and film outside the courthouse, stuff like that. But literally filming inside the court, I'm not allowed to, you know what I mean? Like, that's why on the news they do those sketches. So we're going to put together something that's better than sketches. We've already got something that's better than sketches here. So,
Alan, do you want me to walk into your life wearing my clip-clop shoes?
And we've got Nicole Kessinger talking on the thing as well. So let's get into this. Alan's not on yet, and I don't know when he's going to be on. But when he is, you'll make the decision whether you want to keep hearing the court stuff or switch to Alan and go back to the court stuff. You will make the decision, I suppose. But for now, let's crack into the court stuff, I suppose, to get it covered. He had a hearing today. Master Giddon was the judge, the master, on MS Teams. That's today. The hearing was to ascertain if the unless order is going to go through. That's what the hearing was for. It's a legal thing, so that's what it's for. Big ups, Curious Cat. Have I got this muted? Can you hear it?
Yay, going to girl, thank you. Let me know. My first time.
When does it start?
Could repeat it.
I'm just skipping on a bit.
Okay, so how can I refer to this? Okay, throughout this, I'll just call Alan or the defendant. I will call the Casey just by Casey because I'm not going to give away his name. Okay, so the Casey started addressing the judge and said that the hearing was to decide if Alan had complied with the unless order.
So first point of order, the hearing is for the unless order. Alan has not been able to table any other business before the court. He's not filled in the proper forms correctly. He's representing himself. The hearing is about the unless order.
And he says he doesn't believe there's anything else before the judge by way of application from Alan.
Nothing before the judge by way of Alan application.
His side say that there is not. The judge responds saying, there are requests, but I'm not going to deal with requests. This court doesn't operate with requests. We deal with applications per civil procedure rules.
I love this. Immediately, Alan has made requests, but he's done something wrong. It's supposed to be an application, not a request. Or whatever the fucking legal thing is. He's done it wrong. So the judge is acknowledging that Alan has made requests, but unfortunately, Alan, we're not going to be dealing with them. Would you shut up with your requests?
And this is in the King's Bench Guide.
It's in the guide. You've done it wrong.
So it sounds like Alan had made requests, I don't know, by email or whatever, not done properly. Judge was not happy throughout this with him. The Casey then referred to the unless order made in December, and he addresses the judge saying the essential point is that it's been more than a year since the claim was served, and following this there was very extensive correspondence and engagement with the defendant. Making
it clear that they've tried to negotiate. I think at every point they're going to give Alan every bit of rope so that he can hang himself here. Right? They're not going to have him come back and do an appeal because they'll say, you had the time, you had the this, you had the that, we gave you this, you still fucked it up.
In April 2023, the defendant was represented by solicitors, and they referred to the need for his defence to be regularised. Since then, there's been 2 further documents in the run-up to the unless order sent by Alan, which were purporting to be defence documents. And the KC asked the judge to look at those, but the judge said that the unless order had been made after receiving those anyway, so they'd been...
So please look at Alan's documents. No, they're rubbish. We still put the unless order in. We've checked them, don't worry. Like they're making sure he hasn't got a leg to stand on.
And you didn't need to look at them again now. And the judge said that the purpose of...
Yeah, if you want this channel, I'll put the link to the video in the chat now, so you can follow that and subscribe to Curious Cat. She's in chat now, so you should be able to find it through the chat. But yeah.
Day was to decide if the unless order had been complied with. So then the KC refers to certain parts of the what they call the bundle, and he says that what you can see is Alan's response to the defamation claim, in particular to the publications relied upon and the meanings.
It's like Trammy McBeal, this is, isn't it? It's like Ally McBeal. It's like LA Law. Do you remember LA Law? I never watched LA Law. I just used to watch the start sequence and think, oh, it's time to go to bed. Ally McBeal, though. Everyone watched Ally McBeal.
Some legal meanings he's on about. And he said, this is what you, the judge, made the unless order in relation to. And the judge referred to that documentation and said, oh yes, this is where the defendant said that this is all true and I'm getting death threats, etc. The KC said that the new position in the defence that was served in response to the unless order, i.e. Alan's response he submitted.
So Alan's written them an old document. They've looked at it and said he's getting death threats and stuff, and they've all laughed. And they've said, right, don't worry about that. He's got a new thing that he's submitted now. This is his defence now. Check this out.
After he got the unless order, Casey said the current iteration of the defence gives even less detail and is less compliant than the relevant rules of court, which actually prompted the unless order to be issued in the first place.
So Alan was given an unless order. You've put in a defence here, Alan, and it doesn't comply with the court. It's not in legal language. It's not correct documentation. So can you go away and can you come back with a proper document so that we can do the court case? At least do that, Mr. Representing yourself. And Alan's gone away and come back. Like he said, they've given his homework an F. And they've said, this isn't good enough, must try harder. And he's come back and he's dropped off the scale. It's no longer an F. It's unlisted. You've made it worse. Somehow you've made it worse.
He then said there was a notice of hearing issued on the 22nd of February this year that referred to the application in November for the unless order and the January 2024 defendant's application. And he said there isn't any application by the defendant before the court today.
So Alan has not put a proper application before the court. He might think he's tried to, but again, failed, like everything else in life, because he hasn't used the proper legal language, hasn't got a solicitor. So what he's put in is like a piece of tissue paper with like, I'm not bad, you should give me monies written on it in crayon, and like handed that in. And they've said, this isn't an application, come back with an application. Like, ding, next.
He did serve a defence dated 26th of January this year, and that can be found within the bundle. The defendant also wrote a covering letter containing requests to the court. And
could you imagine that? The covering letter. A covering letter. Alan's covering letter. Sex mad Val. Cartoon lady. Like copy and pasted all of his community posts from the last 6 months into a covering letter.
He said it's worth noting that on the 22nd of January this year, in that application, the defendant asked the judge to extend the time. And the judge
begging for more time.
Refused it.
And the judge says no. Getting the judge eggy now.
And the KC referred to the fact that the claimant's legal representation hadn't been notified of that at the time. They only found out a couple of days ago on the 17th of April.
So in January, Alan wanted more time. The claimants weren't notified, but the judge turned it down anyway.
So obviously they're not happy about that.
But they weren't
Something's
happy.
Gone wrong there. And then the KC said, we want to know today if the defendant has served a compliant defence, and secondly, deal with any matters arising from the materials filed in January, including his letter that contained the request.
So because Alan filed something in January, they want to come back and say, hey, we haven't been properly informed of this, so we want to know, did he file a proper defence? We want to know, has he filed a proper defence? And we want to know what's going on with this bundle of nonsense he's put before the court.
The KC went on to say, the rules of court are not empty procedural requirements. It's impossible to resolve the matter unless the issues between the parties and their positions can be clearly identified and understood by all parties in court.
So it's not just a load of nonsense court language so that we can wrap you up in court language. What it actually is, it's a really rigid structure so that we all know what's going on. I can't fight the case unless Alan really clearly says what the case is. I can't, like, he's got to defend himself and I've got to go against his defence. So I want to know what his defence is. I don't want him to say, like, the reason we're using special court language and special documents and, you know, oh, it's just a load of court nonsense, isn't it? They won't let you speak freely and they won't let you speak plainly. No, it's not that. We need to know what he means. We need really clearly to know what he means, and he's still not made it clear. So let's have that.
Which allows the litigation to be managed through to trial and be fair to both sides.
We're waiting for Alan to come on to Patreon right now. He's got an unlisted video that's set up to go live. So when it goes live, we will watch it. And until then, we'll carry on with this.
Undertaken a line-by-line analysis of the defence, which purports to comply with the unless order.
So we're just saying here,
and be fair to both sides. We have undertaken a line and understood by all parties in court, which allows the litigation to be managed through to trial and be fair to both sides. We have undertaken a line-by-line analysis of the defence, which purports to comply with the unless order. It's safe to say there's not a single paragraph which actually does comply with the rules.
they've looked through his entire defence document. The prosecution, the KC, Frankie Rusick's side, have looked through the entire document and they can't argue with it because it doesn't make a coherent argument. Line by line, there's nothing in it. It's a wet rag in the wind. So, Judge, could you please sort this out? Is there a defence or not?
And the KC goes on to tell the judge he set out the breaches in detail in the bundle. So he's listed everything that Alan's put forward that's in breach, which is pretty much everything. Regarding the protection from harassment claim, the defendant hasn't responded in a way that can be understood by the court. He's purported to put forward defences, says his behaviour was justified due to the claimant's conduct.
So he wanted defence against harassment, but again, is incomprehensible to the court.
He's failed to explain on what basis these statements are true, and any reference to the particulars of truth.
They're gang stalking me! Doesn't go down well in court without evidence.
He says that he will provide these in the future, but he's not telling us now what they are.
I've got evidence I'm not showing you.
In regards to the defamation claim, the KC asked the judge to look at what was said in his defence. And he says that this defence is even less enlightening than the previous one. That even after extensive correspondence and the unless order, this response is less clear. It's simply a single incoherent sentence. For example, I'm constantly receiving hate from over 50 YouTube channels.
Alan's defence is that he's receiving hate from 50 YouTube channels and everybody's laughing at him now.
Or a bold assertion that the publication complained of is true, and he says he can prove this in court. These are in flagrant breach of the court rules. It's not simply a failure to comply, it's a step backwards. He seems to be deliberately flouting the court's order and requirement to comply with the rules.
So, they're pointing out that Alan is dragging his heels, is not doing things properly, almost to the point of deliberately. Is he being contemptive of court? Mr. Judge, what do you think?
It's impossible for the claim to proceed further on the basis of the defendant's claim. It's not clear what evidence would be submitted, and it's impossible to understand what a trial would look like. So the order today provides that the defence be struck out if it doesn't comply.
So basically, you put in a proper defence or you're off the table and we win.
The order was made. The defendant is in breach of the order and he asks the judge to order to strike out the defence. The order automatically imposes a sanction on the defendant, I believe, and he says one step the defendant might take is relief from sanctions.
So if you want to get away with not having, like, if you get charged a load of big fines and they're going to fine you loads of money, you might want to try and duck out of it.
He hasn't sought this yet, but if he did, the claimant states that this would be hopeless and a significant breach of the rules. There's no good reason for this, especially when there's been over a year's correspondence.
And if you do try and duck out of it, you've had a year to know this is going on, so you can't try and pretend that you haven't had money over the time and like you shouldn't be fined and like it's not fair, you haven't got any monies, because you've had loads of time to think about this and gather the monies and all sorts.
If you do look at the defence content...
And also that you've got no grounds for being absolved of the monies.
It's clear he's got no coherent case to put forward.
They're ripping him.
All he's done is rehearse the highly distressing conspiracy theories and made claims about the claimant's honesty. The order should provide for the defence to be struck out and directions to the claimant to make an application for judgment.
They want to go straight to judgment, fuck him off.
Then the question of remedies, including damages, could be considered.
That's what they're saying.
It's worth noting at this point, folks, Alan appeared in what looked like an office setting. He was wearing a suit, well, not a suit, a shirt and tie. And throughout this, he was so flustered. He was giving off, on mute at what was being said. It was so funny. Right, then the KC he says there are various defendant requests. The defendant suggested that the claimant's claim be struck out, and he refers to the provision for costs, but the defendant has not made any applications for provision for costs. That's
really interesting, is what they're saying here is that Alan's been going on about this. You have to put 50 grand up because otherwise you won't have any money in the bank. And if I win, I want the money. So you've got to put 50 grand up. They've got to lodge it with the court. They've got to lodge the money with the court. And Alan's been saying this. He thinks that's a fact. He hasn't made a petition for them to lodge the money to the court. So they don't have to. But he could have maybe lodged the petition, but he hasn't. So he's talked about it, but not lodged the petition.
This security for costs has been the subject of much correspondence, even when the defendant had legal counsel.
So apparently Alan did have legal counsel way back, and they did talk about this aspect of, are you going to lodge the money? But it went nowhere.
And the defendant, it says he talks about the claimant needing to demonstrate the validity of his claims. And this is to do with, Alan's always been saying he's an American, he needs to put up the money, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
The judge said, this isn't a priority for us today.
The judge says that's not on the table. Don't care whether you lodge the money. You've had loads of time to talk about lodging the money. Alan's not tried to make you lodge the money. That's not on the table.
So then at this point, Alan interrupted and asked to speak.
Interrupting the judge.
Are you ready for this? Get your popcorn. He said, it's very interesting, but there is Nate, I think that's an acronym for something, some sort of legal representation. He says, I spent a few thousand with them for advice, and what they told me was to ask the claimant to set aside money in case he loses the action. At this point, the KC interrupted, and he said, we need to make sure the defendant understands he mustn't give away any privileged information.
You're not supposed to say what your lawyers told you.
He received via legal advice. So you see, Alan was going to spill his guts on that, and he's not supposed to. That's against court procedure.
But it was reasonable advice. If he had lodged that petition, that would have been a reasonable thing, and he could have instructed them to do so, but he didn't, and he tried to do it himself, and he couldn't do it properly. So it's off the table now. It's too late for lodging a petition for the money.
Agreed. So then Alan continued. He said, it will cost me £50,000 to produce the required defence. It's not right to say I haven't tried. I can't do any more than I have done. The judge said, it's not about effort, it's about the court rules. Just because people come without legal representation, they have to still operate to the rules, which are publicly available. The King's Bench Guide tells you a lot.
So basically, it doesn't matter if you're dyslexic or this or that. You've had the time, you've had the rules, come with the correct procedure or don't.
I'm afraid there's nothing in this for you to pursue the line that you can't be expected to follow the rules because you're representing yourself.
What a narcissist, expecting because he's a special case he doesn't have to follow the rules. And the judge, of course, won't bow to narcissism.
Sorry, I found that really funny when the judge said that. Alan then says, I've asked for money to be set aside so I can get the cost back in case I win. The judge says,
they literally have just talked about that. They've explained it to you, Alan, but you didn't listen. So now he's going to have to explain it to you again.
Way off winning as you haven't even filed a defence.
You're a long way off winning because you haven't even filed a defence. Imagine being the judge and saying that. You're a long way off winning, mate. You haven't even filed a defence.
I asked for money to be set aside so I can get the cost back in case I win. The judge says, you're a long way off winning as you haven't even filed a defence. Can you address what the court is to do today regarding the order made in December requiring you to file a proper compliant defence?
That's what we're here for, is the defence. Can you address your defence?
Alan says, well, that's why I asked for more time, which you refused. I have a lawyer ready and willing. It'll cost me £50,000. They advised me not to submit a defence unless the claimant sets aside money in case they lose.
Apparently, that was a while ago, though, wasn't it? He spent £3,000 on a lawyer who gave him that advice a long time ago. But apparently, he's got a lawyer ready to go. They know all about it. They're ready to rock and roll. I just need 50 grand, and I need to know that they've got 50 grand in case I spend mine and they don't come up with theirs. Alan, we've been through this again and again. It doesn't matter now. Their 50 grand does not have to be put up because you didn't put up a proper petition.
Because if he loses, I can't recover my costs. You have Slapp's order and Linton tests, don't you? This is an American trying to sue a pensioner in England. It's just wrong.
At this point, I couldn't believe that he's doing what he does on his streams in the court. I thought that stream stuff was an act for the idiots that subscribe to him, but he knew that he couldn't do that in court. But in court, he said, I'm a pensioner, and the bloke from America's trying to sue me, and they might not have any money, and I want the money.
How can you have an American asking for a...
There will be a transcript of it, SM, there will be, and we will use that transcript. I mean, Curious Cat's done a really good job of transcribing this here. Curious Cat has done a very good job, but there will be a full transcript, and we will try and make a dramatic reconstruction.
£100,000 off a pensioner. I have supported American asking for over £100,000 off a pensioner. I have supporters willing to spend the £50,000 if the claimant will put up the money.
I've got supporters willing to spend 50 grand.
He's out of jurisdiction.
He's out of jurisdiction.
So then the judge responds, there's no application before the court.
Again, the judge responds, that's well and good. Put it in an application.
Provision of costs, and it's not what we're here to deal with today. The business today is the claimant's application from December. He means the unless order. This is not negotiable, and you haven't done this. Excuse me, I'm going to take a drink. I'm talking too much. Through in a way that's extremely difficult to follow. There is no coherent defence to this claim. Alan says, I've uploaded everything I have. The judge says, I don't want any uploading or links. Just follow the order and file a defence.
Imagine that. What beauty, what poetry. Alan says, I've uploaded everything I have. And the judge says, I don't want drop boxes and links. File a defence. In no uncertain terms, write down legally what your defence is. Show us the key points of evidence filed properly, and we will accept them in the court. You have to speak court language.
Alan says, is there no way you can get Coincide to put the money up if I borrow money from my family?
He's still on about these fucking monies. And now he's going to borrow it from his family. And I wonder if the house got signed over to his daughter and he uses some sort of, pension, credit, whatever, pay my rent scheme to pay the mortgage for the house for his daughter, and whether she can leverage 50 grand out of that, because his family are now going to be responsible for giving him 50 grand.
Right.
And that 50 grand is just for the defence. I think, I'll tell you, I think they're trying to string him out. Like, I think they've got him in a funny corner, like they're working him like a poker player might work a mark, and they want him to launch a defence. They want him to spend 50 grand, because then if he spends 50 grand and loses, there's another 50 grand in the toilet. Bong, just gone. Right.
The judge says, that's not how it works. Alan says, I thought I'd done what was asked. The judge says, where in the order does it suggest that you upload drop boxes to the court?
That speaks for itself.
Alan then starts to go on about my defence, and the judge just talks over and says, it doesn't. Have you seen the KC's skeleton argument? And Alan says yes.
God, that whiskey's good.
Oh.
No, vodka. Whiskey's a colour, isn't it?
Right, question. Can I pause this? Do you want me to switch now to live Alan drinking his whiskey, having his meltdown, or do you want me to carry on with the court case? We'll come back to the court case if you want. I can tell you the result quickly of what was going on is that he's given 2 weeks to find this defence. They laughed at him in court. He's given 2 weeks to find the defence. In chat quickly, which one do you want? Because I don't know how long the pause will go for. And like, we can come back to this, but sometimes this jigs me about on the pause. So what do you want? Tell me in chat. Live Alan, or you want live Alan, yeah?
Anybody see me?
Live Alan.
Am I seen? Am I live?
He's live. You want live Alan, don't you?
Hello.
Hello, you fucking dick. You got rinsed in court today, made to look stupid. They told you, just please launch a defence. In the end, the judge was lenient, I'll tell you that, and gave him Alan asked for a month to get 50 grand together to form a proper defence. And the judge said, you've got a month, get 50 grand, put a proper defence in. At the end of that month, we're on, and that's that. And as far as your petition is, if you want them to put the petition in for the money, get your fucking judge, get your lawyer to do it. You've got a month. That's what they said.
I guess we're live. If somebody can tell me.
What are you on about? What sofa is he on? Okay, here's another quick shout.
Hello. How are you?
I think he went with his daughter on holiday.
I am the Armchair Detective.
He's on that sofa.
On social media, hardly at all.
Because you've been probably given a banning order during the trial.
As you can see,
you're a wanker.
I'm spending time on my health.
Is that sofa where he had his knee up? It's his daughter's house, isn't it?
Going for long walks every day. Changed my diet.
They've got hold of him.
Hopefully you can see a thinner face.
So he doesn't melt down.
It's only the beginning. I've only been doing it for a week or so. So
he's been living with them, so he doesn't have a meltdown. Fitness. And they won't let him on socials.
Because being the centre of a hate campaign is tiring.
He had a meltdown.
Now and again.
He had an epi. He had a meltdown, didn't he? Sorry, epi's the wrong word, isn't it, these days?
For 2 reasons. One, because I think I needed a break.
He had a meltdown. He went on holiday with your daughter.
Because I've been working on this court case.
Malta meltdown.
We've never had a court. There is no court case as such.
You haven't got a case.
Ongoing civil claim.
That's the problem.
Someone in America against me, an ongoing civil claim. He might as well have sued me for having the wrong shoes on. You can sue anybody for anything. But anyway, it's ongoing. And I've got to be careful what I say.
Really? Bit late for that.
Because everything I say is
taken down in evidence and used against you.
Lied about. I know there's more people in here than there should be. So I know that there's trolls in here watching. Hello, trolls.
Hello, Alan.
You shouldn't be in here. This is a private meeting between me and my patrons. But you're here because you hate me, right?
I laugh at you. I pity you. You're a laughing stock.
Well, bad news for you. With regards to today's
bad news
hearing, you know what a hearing is? It's not It's not like a trial, okay? It's a hearing.
Do you know what one is?
Because
Because you didn't launch a proper defence. You're happy. You got
my words, so I can't get it wrong.
Yeah. You got 4 weeks
Today was a hearing only. It was not a trial.
to spend 50 grand.
It was a hearing that both sides wanted because,
There was an unless order.
believe it or not, neither of us wants to go to trial. It's too expensive. The trial is for millionaires, where you have barristers that cost £2,000 for an hour. I mean, a 6-day trial that cost £500,000. We can't afford that. There is no trial. There'll never be a trial.
Nickel Dam Kessinger.
They don't want a trial, nor do I. There's never going to be a trial. It's going to be, at most, a summary decision. You know, that's
Against you.
Nickel Dam Kessinger demands her
But today
kissy with Scotty
It
Hottie.
was just about where we stand.
He's been on holiday with the
And they
daughter.
stand
The
that
daughter.
they-
We saw it on the Facebook, didn't we? The daughter was going to a villa somewhere. She's took him. She said, "You're not going on social. The trial's coming up. You're staying at my house. Otherwise, he'll have a meltdown." She's preempted it. Don't worry about getting the Sarah Lees. I've got loads of Sarah Lees. Kirsty, you're having him for a week before he goes to that trial. Otherwise, he's going to get a meltdown.
That's all I'm going to say. They didn't get it.
That's what's happened here.
They don't want a trial, nor do I. There's never going to be a trial. It's going to be, at most, a summary decision. You know, that's the most. But today's was just about where we stand. And they stand that they issued a
He just still doesn't
or else
understand.
warning. Like,
Unless
if I don't
order.
get a defence in by a certain date,
Unless
then
order.
they're going to claim a technical victory, right?
He still
That's
doesn't
what that was
understand.
about today. They didn't get it. They
Is
didn't
he
get
loud
the
enough for
technical
you?
victory.
I'm talking over him. Is he loud enough for you?
That's all I'm going to say. They didn't get it. From my end, I was there because I want them to put up security because of what it's going to cost.
Yeah. Why didn't you apply
Me to
for it?
defend this is quite a lot.
Why didn't you put up the application then?
So I want them to put up security.
Yeah.
I know he lives with his mum and dad, but he's going to have to put up security to
Yeah.
go any further.
If you put in the
As far
application,
as
he
I'm
might.
concerned. Not as far as they're concerned.
You've got 4 weeks to
So
put
they
in the
want on
application.
mass order, I want security. That's what we discussed. Honestly. That's what got discussed.
Yours wasn't supposed to be on the table. You forced it onto the
I'm
table.
not the one that has to put up any money. They're suing me. They have to pay for everything. Everything. Not me. If I lose, then I've got to pay. But at the moment, they've got to pay for everything. And believe me, it's mounting up fast. Because I will never give in.
No surrender.
They didn't know that.
Fight them on the
But it's
beaches.
a fact.
You don't have to give
As
in.
this matter is ongoing, that's all I'm able to tell you tonight. Other than I'm very happy that it's going swimmingly.
It's not. It's going terribly.
And it's not me that's getting wet.
What's happening is that someone else is going to pay 50 grand to get you a proper
all I can
solicitor.
say.
And now you're happy with that you've forced your
I
daughter
won't
to
be
pay 50
asking
grand
any of my supporters for money.
because your daughter's going to do it.
I don't believe in asking money for a court case that only lawyers win.
But someone's going to pay the 50
So I don't
grand.
want you to waste your money on me. I've done it all myself.
Oh, yeah? Where's that
Everything
money
was
come
said.
from? Where's that money come from there, Mr. Richbags? Mr. I've got no money.
And it's
that
ongoing.
you knew the supporters weren't going to be able
So
to
I
pay for
don't
it.
really know or care what anybody writes about me.
Listen, I'm pausing that for a second. He's in Cuckoo Clue La La Land, Happy Land. His daughter's paid for it. Mommy's done it for him. Alan's cried. Mommy's fixed it. His daughter's paid the money. She's got him a proper solicitor. She's held his hand through the court case. She's gone there and gone, I can't believe you've let it get to this. We've got 4 weeks now for a solicitor to sort this out properly. Like, Mommy's going to pay for it. Like, Alan doesn't have to worry. So he doesn't care. Because even if it goes wrong, like he said earlier in his streaming career, he's always got his family, like, stupid as they are to be, maybe it's because he's given them the house, like, but 50 grand down the toilet, he's going to pay for that will pay for the lawyers. Yeah, Frankie Rusick will go to court, he will lose, and there'll be 50 more grand down the toilet, and then they'll have to pay all the damages and everything. But he's still not worried because when push comes to shove, it looks like somebody is just going to save him 50 grand's worth and come and live at my house and sit on my sofa. And who's that? Looks like it's his daughter.
On YouTube or anything else. I'm not on YouTube anymore. I don't look at it. But they will tell you lies. I guarantee they will tell you lies.
No, it's all fact.
If you want to believe lies or even
Alan, there's no lies about it. It's all facts. It's all recorded. There'll be transcript. Like, Curious Cat hasn't just made all that up. Like, there's different people who watched it. There's all witnesses. It's all fact.
Or even believe they know anything about this. That's up to you.
It is up to you.
They don't know anything.
We don't know anything. You didn't seem to know anything in court, did you? You didn't seem to know much.
So there, you're not having nothing from me, trolls watching me.
We are having a little bit.
I'm not going to lose my temper or shout or say anything.
We're way beyond that. Someone's just give you 50 grand to get you out the shitter. So why would you shout and scream? Like, you can't, because if your daughter comes in hearing you shouting and screaming on the internet, she'll switch it off. Mommy's sorting you out.
I just want my supporters to know. I'll read it again for you, just in case it wasn't clear. With regards to today's hearing, I can tell you I'm very happy with the outcome.
Who said that? You?
Today was only a hearing where we put our side of things, what we want.
No, it wasn't.
They wanted an unless order and to claim a win.
They had an unless order, and that was what the hearing was about, to see if you've got any defence by now. And because you still hadn't, they gave you another 4 weeks very graciously, knowing though full well that if you put up 50 grand in 4 weeks, it's just going straight down the toilet. It's like being in a casino and, like, you know, chasing the gamble. They know he's a gambler. They think he's willing probably at the last minute to throw another 50 grand into the toilet. But that's all.
Doing any work without going to court. They wanted to claim a victory today.
Yeah.
It didn't happen.
Yeah. No.
They got no victory.
Not quite.
Whatever they tell you. Because I'm still here, aren't I? I'm going back in some weeks' time.
Yeah, May the 17th.
I'm not the one that has to put up any money. They do. I've asked for
you
security.
have to spend 50 grand to force them to put up the money. Unless somebody in your legal team can work out how to do a proper application. And the judge has seen all your legal team stuff and decided, no, you've said, give me 4 weeks, I'll get 50 grand, and in that time I'll have a defence. They're happy with just the defence part. But if an application comes as well, they may consider it. But you've got fucking 4 weeks to do it, and you need to pay for someone 50 grand. Yeah? So it's you that's going to be out of pocket first. And if you do that, then Frankie may, if you do an application, have to put up the money. And if he does, fine, the money will go up, and then you'll still lose. So it's stupid.
Legally. And that's changed everything.
Changed everything.
Would they like to put up security? You'd have to ask them. But if I lose, I'm the one that has to find all this money. If they lose, they just go, I'm in America, boss. I can't pay you. I've got to change that. And I am changing it. And that's all I'm going to say.
Right at the last minute, right at the last minute, the judge gave him the clemency, like, you know, gave him the good grace of that extra 4 weeks. Right at the last minute, so Alan could have lost today very easily, which is why I think they're stringing him along for another 50 grand. Plus, I think that the judge wants to be able to turn around and say, "Oh, no appeal. No, I'm sorry, you can't appeal. We gave you an extra 4 weeks on top." Like, no appeals, mate. I think they want to make sure there's no room for him to turn around and say, "Oh, but I asked for this and they wouldn't do that." You know,
will and lie to you all they want. That's where we are. I want security.
Mm-hmm.
They want a technical victory. I want security. That's
but you didn't put in the proper forms.
fair, isn't it? That's fair. But today, no one wins. No one loses.
You seem like a bit of a loser because you went to court and sounded like a fucking idiot who didn't know what was going on. So you look like a loser.
So as I say, I'm working on my fitness. If anybody's got any ideas in chat, let's have a look. See who's here.
What he means is his daughter is making him go out the house and go for walks with the dog and feeding him normal food.
Tonight.
But you know what I mean? It seems like he's been put in a care home now, doesn't it? Do. I'm on my phone. I'm allowed to mess about. There's kids around. Yeah, having a great time. Someone else is paying for me. Someone else is going to pay the legal costs. Someone else is just going to, scoop up my shit. So there we go. Alan's just like sorted now. Clue la la land. I wonder if he's brought his packet of tramadol with him because that's his favourite sofa for sitting and tripping out after his knee operation. Oh, I pressed the button. See, this is the problem I get with this. Is it sometimes
our
jumps
side
all
of
the time.
things, what we want.
Where were we at?
at most a summary decision. I guarantee they will tell you lies. I'm very happy with the outcome. But if I lose, that's fair. About my health, I'm determined for this summer. I could do most summers to lose. I'm working on my fitness. If anybody's got any ideas in chat, I'm going to let's have a look. I'll see who's here tonight. Dun, 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 rumble, rumble. So we've got Ocean Daughter, Lizzie, Anaphylaxis, Irritable Owl. Nice to see you, Liz.
So all of a sudden, what we're going to do, right, is we're now going to become Angry Alan's fitness chat room. Like, this is incredible. Like I say, I think the denial is one thing that really helps him, like, you know, through his difficult times. The drugs, the alcohol, all this other stuff that he leans on. But I didn't honestly predict this. I didn't think his daughter would step in and basically just fucking sort him the fuck out. Like, it looks like she took him away on a holiday. There was that, it's on Regardation Police. There's a little slip on his stream where it shows a picture of a villa with a pool. This is where we're going. It's got a nice pool. So I think she just scooped up and said, you're not going to Malta this time. You're coming on holiday with me. It's a week before the trial. Like, I know you haven't got a lawyer, but this is what we've been doing. Like, maybe she was even the legal team part of it, and she thought she was going to, you know, do a good job, and it's turned out even she's shocked by how shit she's capable of doing. But what she's able to do is she's able to feed him, keep him healthy. Like, the worry is, mentally, physically, he was going to drop off the edge, isn't it? Because this is about to be like cliff diving time, isn't it? Like dropping off that cliff of things are going wrong, not, you know, in Minecraft. But like Alan was like, you know, in a serious bad situation, and then it looks like his daughter's just sort of made sure he doesn't fall off the edge there. So big ups JJ Kane in chat, big ups you. Yeah, it's. I'm feeling quite charitable sometimes, and I don't feel like it's like completely disappointing to me. But in a way, I would have liked to have seen the meltdown. Like, I would have definitely, and there's still room for it because he's still going to lose this court case on May the 17th. But like, I would have liked to have seen the meltdown, but it looks like that's not going to happen. Interestingly as well, a byproduct of it is he's not been able to go on his streams, and I wondered whether he'd been given a gagging order by the court. If you're going to be in the court talking about this, here's the letter to say you've got to turn up. In the letter, it might say, do not go on social media and talk about this. And but why has Alan not been on socials? I think it's because while he's with his daughter in the family environment, there's stuff going on, and they've always got their eye on him. So he can't like slope off and do his. He's got something better to do than talk to those people in his chat. So he does. Like, suddenly there's people around, so he just doesn't talk to the people in his chat. Like, it's a bit sad in a way. And also the daughter said, I'll pay the legal costs. So if she's going to give him 50 grand, then like, why does he need to grift those women in chat for a week? Like, fuck them. Like, I've got 50 grand now. Flying on a cloud, Alan is.
Rose Pam, hello. Liz. Yeah. And quite a few others that remain nameless. So, I can't answer any questions, but I will answer any questions you want about my health.
Neop sofa.
Determined for this summer, I could do most summers to lose weight, because when you get to my age, you don't want to be carrying loads of weight around. And Christmas, I had a laugh with one of my daughters today. So
Body Sculpture sent tippies.
Big ups.
The man's bricking it, you can see it in his face.
You think?
I wonder if Nancy has handed over. No doubt he will start his grift in the next week or so. We all know what the grifter's like, look at the state of him. Super Chuffer owes 5 hugs.
Interesting. I think he's had a really difficult day. You know, I think it's been really difficult for him. But I think he started the thing by saying he was drinking whiskey. I think he's in a sort of like, you know, delusional space now, delulu. But yeah, I think he's had a really difficult time. And I think the pressure's off him though, because someone else is going to take the reins. So he's going to let mommy take care of it. But yeah, if you think he's like, you know, he's bricking it, fair enough. That picture there is Alan the Bristol Pusher. Like, we're going to be looking into that further. There was another person missing, River. I looked at it on a stream and I've got to bring it to you, but it's not just the one now. There's another one. Basically, a young lad in the river, Nottingham. They think he's gone in the river. At the same time, Alan was off on his jaunts on a stream, doing a stream from a Travelodge, and there was a poker game going on in Nottingham. So I've got to bring that to you on this channel. We'll look out for it on members content or something. But yeah, that's why that missing poster's up there. But
it's all from Christmas. I put this.
Is that a new t-shirt? I think I've seen that before. That's his Malta t-shirt. That's his holidays t-shirt. He wears that when he goes to Malta usually. Club de Man. That's one of his Malta t-shirts. I think it might be a posh hotel in that area of the world or something. Some poker thing. It's usually a Malta t-shirt.
Put this way on since for Christmas.
Or it could be something his daughter bought him and he wears it to sort of say, look, this is the one you bought me. And also notice how clean and fresh it looks. Yeah, maybe it's not a new t-shirt. Maybe it's just been washed. Or maybe they've got a bunch of them at the daughter's house, like free from somewhere. And he's just, you know, put this on, Dad. You know, I've got clean ones. Like, it looks to me like he's been basically, someone's taken over for him. And like, he benefits from just having people just like caring for him now. So lucky Alan. But like, yeah.
She said, Dad, Christmas was 5 months ago.
Who's this?
Wait around. I can't answer any questions, but I will answer any questions you want about my health. I'm determined for this summer, like I do most summers, to lose weight. Because when you get to my age, you don't want to be carrying loads of weight around. And Christmas, I had a laugh with one of my daughters today. I said, look, it's all from Christmas. I put this weight on since for Christmas.
I had a laugh with one of my daughters today. Told you. I absolutely told you, didn't I? He's at his daughter's house. She's taken over. She's took him on holiday. And it may be because that poker winnings, the Armchair detective years, it all got rolled into one big purchase, the property. Yeah. And the property, knowing that he could lose it and he's a big idiot, instead of waiting till he dies and it goes in the will, he would have, like, I think, signed it over to his daughter. So she now owns a property. She's happy because she's got a new property. It's hers. It's like money's. Yeah. But there's a mortgage involved. When she takes the mortgage, she does that. He can't own a business. He's got financial problems. So she takes on the mortgage. Okay. So she's got to pay a mortgage, but she's getting a property with a load of money put into it. Yeah. So maybe there's not a big mortgage on it. I don't know. But if he can say I'm paying rent and he's getting a pension and he's got no income, can't he say, this is my housing money that I need, and don't the government pay you housing benefit? I'm not certain on this because I'm not a pensioner who needs housing benefit, but if there's any sort of benefits he can get, they will then be paid straight to his daughter. So she gets a property and she gets money coming in from the property paid by the government. And instead of Alan just paying his way and having his, like, instead, maybe we all as taxpayers pay for Alan to live in his property and the money goes to his daughter. So she might be happy with that. And then in return, she might look after him because there's a massive financial incentive there. But yeah, like overall, he's with his, like, there's no way he's not with his daughter. He's mentioned her now. He's on that sofa. That's where he went after his knee operation. She's mummied him and he's turned into a stupid baby burden for his daughter. And she's into it for some reason. Like,
she said,
into it for 350 grand on a house, I suppose.
Dad, Christmas was 5 months ago. I'll be claiming Christmas when it's next Christmas.
And like, she's even saying to him, Dad, Christmas was 5 months ago. Like, I bet she's well fed up of him by now. A week of having him in the bright. He's probably annoyed her over the family holiday. I don't know what having him around the kids is a good idea. Like, do they seem naive to that? Because he was singing with kids on Smule. Like, that was a fact. He was singing with other people's kids on Smule, Asian kids on Smule, like live connecting. So that was bad. But yeah, so in the house with the kids, you know, hanging out. Constantly there, annoying her. She's doing her best, but he's like, yeah, it's the Christmas, like, he's living in his own delusional la-la land about Christmas weight, and she's like, she's even shutting him down on that, so must be fun for him.
Hopefully you'll see an improving AD over the next few months, physically.
I will love this. Alan, come on and do Alan's social time on the internet all the time. Chat about stuff. More content, please. Yeah. Let's go on Alan's fitness journey. Video yourself going for a run by the canal, pushing people in as you go. You nutter.
I'm sat in my lounge today. I'm relaxed. I'm not.
Man in black, pushing people in.
I'm not in my studio. Oh,
you're sat in your lounge. Your lounge.
Oh, by the way, no, I'm not in Malta. No.
No, you're not in Malta. No.
I never went to Malta. Embarrassing.
Or maybe you didn't have enough money for that. We all thought he might do a big blowout, spend all his money before he goes to Malta. So maybe he did that by giving his daughter that last bit of money for the family holiday, big blowout, and that gets her on side and, you know, all that as well. But he didn't want to walk into the court case with loads of money in the bank, did he? Because he said he's totally broke. So he might have had a big blowout before then. You know, he might have gone to Malta or somewhere, come back quick. But then there's no point in winning money in Malta, because then you can't, like, if you win big in Malta, then you've got loads of money for the court case. So it doesn't help you, does it? Like, they take that money away. So actually he didn't want to do that. He wanted to have a blowout in another way. But yeah, he's not in Malta now. Like, he may have gone somewhere, and I think with his daughter for a holiday, and this sofa is his lounge, but he's never shown us this lounge before, this sofa, except when he had the bad knee. And then he was being taken care of by someone, wasn't he? He kept saying. So
he's in Malta. Embarrassing. I've been working on my case with my people.
With
here.
your daughters.
I'm working on my fitness here.
Fitness.
In the UK. It's sad, isn't it?
I bet she's got some sort of home gym equipment.
Lie about you. People have to follow you to your hotel. People have to follow you.
Well, you're not at the hotel, so how did they follow you there?
On your holidays, people.
You went on holidays and you leaked it on the internet with that picture of the villa with the pool, and you were there.
Have to follow you into a poker room and tell people you're a sex offender when I haven't got any record at all. Do you know what the joke is? The people
You've got Gary Glitter records, mate. Shut up.
doing it have got records, haven't you?
What? I have no criminal record whatsoever. My most criminal records is once I bought Rod Stewart's greatest hits on tape. That's my most criminal record. People like Rod Stewart.
Anyway, I'm not going to give them content.
You just did.
I just want you to see me, and it's nice to see your names.
It's nice to see you. Your names.
If you want to ask me any questions, not about any court case, but about my life, and basically, I had YouTube and my arts. I've got my art still. I haven't got my YouTube. I no longer have money to take my family on trips and stuff like that. I just
no longer have money to take my family on trips. Like I said, I think he paid for that holiday for the family before he left. Before I think he said, I've got to spend like 500, not 500, but like whatever the cost of a family holiday with a bunch of kids to a villa in wherever they went. Somewhere nice. I've got to spend X amount of money. And they're like, spend it on a family holiday then, Dad. Let's all go.
have to manage my money a different way, because when you have wages,
you haven't got money
live to those wages.
When your
wages are taken away by mass reporting, you have to live beyond whatever means you have. So I've had to adjust everything. What I spend on food, what I spend on any. I'm not going to any poker. I can't afford it, so I won't be going to any poker, which is fine. I don't need poker. I don't need anything. I just love my family.
I'm not giving you 50 grand, Dad, if you're going to go pissing money away on poker. If you're actually broke and you need 50 grand for this court case, I will let you live at the house and I will give you the 50 grand, but you are not going to be spending money on poker after I've given you this money.
I've got my family, that's it. That's what I want. So when you get to my age, I'll be honest, at 69, most people are retired. So maybe
Whereas you are, don't get me. You can't say those things anymore. But that one, come on.
I should take it more easy, Maybe I should. But we have a long battle yet to go. And you patrons here, you're the ones that are keeping me going. I appreciate you staying with it. If I could tell you more, God, I would.
But you don't understand things properly.
If I tell you, I tell the trolls. I don't want to tell the trolls my strategy, my plan of action.
You don't have a strategy or plan of action. Like, if your strategy or plan of action is to get a solicitor in 4 weeks between now and the court going on, then you're in trouble. You went in there today, potentially could have been literally, the judge could have been hard today and just said, fuck it, you haven't put anything before the court, where is your defence? No, I'm not giving you another 4 weeks. I hear what you're saying, but so what? I'm not giving you another 4 weeks. You were lucky.
They don't deserve to know anything. Well, that's the way I could tell you. But I do thank you for being there, patrons, and your commitment is noted.
Red Fan 30 cent tippies.
Big up Red Fan, thank you.
Super Chuffer owes 20 hugs.
Thank you. Just a straight, maybe you put a message and it was rude and didn't put the message. Sometimes that happens. I'll check.
And I want to thank my inner circle that helped me with this civil stuff.
It was just a tippy.
Over the last few weeks.
Thank you, Red Fan. Wait, I'll get you, where's my button?
Nickel Dam Kessinger demands her kissy with Scotty Hottie. Alan Vinnicombe has made her really mad. She is going to crush him beneath her clip-clop shoes.
A lot of work, many hours work. I want to thank those people.
Thank those people that did my legal work. It was all for nothing because the judge still hasn't received anything that we can accept as legal work.
Did that.
Your legal work was done entirely by the judge who told you to your face today exactly what you needed to do. Log a proper application. Get a solicitor to do it.
And the good news for them is they won't have to do it anymore because we're going to be represented by a proper law firm.
There you go. My mommy's going to pay for the fucking
things
law
have
firm.
changed, which is good. I don't have to write letters to solicitors anymore, which is good.
You were never writing them, were you?
But I was surprised to see so many trolls at the court hearing today.
Wow.
It's totally illegal for them to...
It was not totally illegal for them to be there. It was totally legal for them to be there. Totally legal. Wait, legal. Wait, legal. Totally legal. Wait. What am I putting in? I'm just trying to get a new picture on the tippies because I'm tired of that picture. Where's my favourite one? That's my favourite one at the moment. Yeah. Okay. Good. No, it was totally legal for them to be there. I can't believe that he is. I can't believe that he's lying outright like that. Like, it's so easy to check that as well. It's so easy for everyone to know whether it's legal or not. It was 100% legal for them to be there. And I love that it disturbed him. I fucking love that it disturbed him.
Hours work. I want to thank those people that did that.
Because they can be there in the court as well.
And the good news for them is they won't have to do it anymore because we're going to be represented by a proper law firm from now on.
I say disturbed,
So,
not to cause Alan alarm or distress, but I wouldn't mind if he was flustered and kerfuffled while he was giving his court hearing, simply because there are people in the gallery watching.
things have changed, which is good. I don't have to write letters to solicitors anymore, which is good. But I was surprised to see so many trolls at the court hearing today. It's totally illegal for them to be there, really. But when I say it's illegal, I don't want to say too much about that either. They can be there, but there's certain things they can't do. So,
like, record it, publish it. Like I can't, it's the same as the news. They have to do a sketch or a recreation in the UK. It's a bit of a strange one, but that's just the UK. And there are other countries where people don't care about what the UK courts think, aren't there? So, give things a little bit of time. The internet might get hold of certain things. You never know, Alan. I don't control the internet.
be interesting
But, all sorts of videos go on the internet, don't they?
to see what comes out
He's interested to see what comes out.
on it. So, I think that's about it. How's Winston? Winston is now an old man. Winston was so popular on this channel, it was unbelievable. He used to sit here, didn't he? Up like that,
More popular than you, and it's a dog.
looking at you all, Winston. Until some bastard painted him with blood coming down his side. And
You used to lock him in a room while you were streaming because you couldn't be asked to deal with him, and he'd be barking in the background, and you'd be like, oh, he's just, Winston's just having a sleep and he's doing a dream and he's barking at a squirrel in his dream, and he'd be in a room locked in the background or locked out in the background, incredible.
still upsets me when I say it. I took Winston right out of the picture. After that, I took him out of the frame. It's not
Although you painted a picture of him and he looked like all the chicken you could eat.
fair. Use my dog on me, to use my dog against me, to say the dog's not yours, or it's your son's, it's not your dog. Oh,
It wasn't your dog.
and show which parks I took him in
You showed which parks you took him in by filming it and putting it on the internet.
so they can come and find me in the park with my dog.
No one wanted to go and find you in the park with your dog.
No.
It wasn't your dog.
Winston has gone into retirement.
Winston's gone into retirement.
A well-deserved retirement. But he's fine. But I'm not putting him in the trolls' sites.
When he does that, and he looks up like that. When he did that, he looked up there. It's like he's in delusional La La Land, Alan is. Like he's in Happy Land. Like spinning his lines, talking his narrative. Like delusional Happy Land. Let's really hope on the 17th. Like I just cannot see. Listen, talking about all this legal stuff, I haven't given you my thoughts on it really, but I cannot see that the judge is going to be like the judge's demeanour in the way he interacted with Alan today just basically shows that Alan has shown contempt for the court. Alan looks like an argumentative arsehole. The court is full of people, like the judge is from the legal profession, like they will be interested in legality and the law, and like cases like the Chris Watts case are quite big things that they may have seen on the telly. You know, they might have an interest, they might even have a feeling about people who go on the internet and pretend to be detectives, or, you know, demand people are questioned. Like, they might even have a feeling about that sort of content. They're not supposed to bring that to the table, but if Alan's going to bring it to the table through his attitude and behaviour in the court by showing contempt, they'll just smile, they'll be nice, you know, they'll smile and say, you know, we'll give you every chance, Mr. Vinnicombe. And then when it comes to the judgment, they will turn around and say, Mr. Vinnicombe, you have been a big arsehole, I'll paraphrase, and now we are going to throw the book at you. Sorry, we gave you every chance. Here's the book. Wallop. Like, he's going to get it on the May the 17th, I'm promising you. And they're stringing him along. Give him 4 weeks. Do your defence. We don't think it's going to be any good. Do your defence. Spend 50 grand if you want. It's going to go in the toilet. Ha ha ha.
To paint him with blood on him and stuff. No thanks. Attack me, okay? Attack me, not my dog or my family. Attack me. You're so brave, aren't you, behind those?
You're so noble, Alan, but when people did attack you on the internet, you lost your paddy. Like, you went nanas. You went AD. Like, you fucking, like, attack me.
AD's sexual deviant. AD's a con man. AD's a crook. AD owes tax. AD.
You couldn't take it, could you? You didn't like it at all. Attack me.
The battery boy.
So brave.
So brave? Like, you won't come on a stream and talk to me. On a stream. You won't come live on an internet phone call and talk to me. So brave. Like, we could go further than that. I don't think, like, I was considering phoning Alan yesterday and saying, the court case tomorrow, huh? Hi, it's me. Like, I know we've had all this going on, but, you know, just a little bit of a, you know, good luck for the court case, you old bastard, ha ha ha. But if I did that, he'd have the police out, wouldn't he? He's harassing me. Like, you know, I can't even consider contacting him. Like, it's just a waste of time. So, like, I've given him so many offers. He's refused all the time. It's been a year. We're the cowards. But he's the one that's run to his mommy, hiding behind the apron strings. Like, let me sit on your sofa, you pay the monies. Like, I'll just fucking sit around like a useless lump that's causing trouble.
You don't even know what you're hating. I'm not on YouTube.
I think as well, I predict this, he will overstay his welcome and aggravate his family.
Yeah, but we hate you, AT. We hate you. You know, it's funny that people with no intelligence, this might come as a shock, right? People with no intelligence believe what they hear and see.
Are you saying, oh, I thought he was going to say the Kubler-Ross. Is it the Kubler-Ross? No, that's the grief cycle, isn't it? See, I'm not smart enough. What's the bell curve where you think you're really smart and, like, you know, the most stupid people think they're really smart, and, like, the smart people realise they're not that smart, and that's where you want to be, is reasonably smart, but realising you're not that smart so you don't get over and big-headed and eggy. But, like, people think they're smarter than they are, don't they? But Alan, I do realise that people believe a load of shit that they hear, especially people in your chat, because you talk it.
Yeah, but we hate you, AT. We hate you. You know, it's funny that people with no intelligence, this might come as a shock, right? People with no intelligence believe what they hear and see. There could be somebody talking to me about me now and saying things about me which are lies.
That's you, though. The Daily Mail says it. You're in on it. It's brilliant. You thought there were aliens. Like, you just, everything. You believe what you hear and see in the news and the media all the time. Like, you take their word for it so often. Like, you don't investigate things properly or have a critical thinking capacity.
And people will believe them because they hear that person and see that person, and they think, because they're on their screen, that they're telling you the truth.
Isn't that you?
People with real intelligence believe what they don't see.
What?
What do you mean they believe what they don't see?
You're just saying words.
They do their own investigation and try to find out the truth.
Okay, well, we're going to be publishing the full transcript at the end of this. Like, at the end of it, the court will release the full transcript, and we will be able to publish that. There'll be no, like, you know, problems with publishing the full transcript. We will create the transcript into a what do you call it? like Curious Cat's done. You know, we'll dramatise it. We'll do the voices. That you'll be able to get access to the videos yourself. We'll give you the links. Like, there's no hiding from this, Alan. It's recorded by the courts.
Those are the people I admire. The people that don't believe what they see and hear.
He's just preparing. What he's trying to do is he's just trying to say the truth is going to be out there about this. Don't believe it.
Believe what they find out to be true. Those are the people I like. The intelligent ones with critical thinking and brains rather than, yes.
What's that cushion for? What's that cushion for that you just pulled over under your arm? Is that to make yourself feel better while you're telling lies? Is that for a little bit of defence? Is that a little bit of a, like, you know, childish grabbing of a soft toy, maternal defence? Well done, Alan, you fucking weird nutter.
So right, you're so clever. Everything you say is so right and so clever.
This body language is him defeated, just acknowledging that he really doesn't have an argument against this. And all he can say is just like, just don't believe him, please. I love this as a screenshot. Poor Alan.
Critical thinking and brains rather than, yes, you're so right, you're so clever. Everything you say is so right and so clever. Even though you're talking at your backside.
You've literally just told lies. Like, he's literally just told lies.
No one knows more than me about the Chris Watts case.
Oh, God, I thought you were going to say about the court case then, about your own court case, because it seemed everybody knew more about you, more about the court case than you when it came to your own court case. You were the only one in the room who didn't understand what was going on, and you repeatedly argued against it, even though they told you outright. Log an application. Yeah, but what about log an application? Yeah, but log an application. You are delusional. You are off your, like, it's even without the heavy tramadol. I suppose he's drinking heavy here, isn't he? But like, they're allowing him a drink or whatever. But like, even with, like, maybe he's on the tramadol or not. Like, the point is, he is, like, I think to the point, like, maybe he doesn't need the drugs. Maybe his own delusional, like someone in chat just said comfort blanket when I was mentioning the pillow. Andrew Skew said comfort blanket. Like the mental comfort blanket of his own denial. Like, he is totally in La La Land. Totally in La La Land. And it's gone beyond the sort of, like, you know, when it was aggravated between us and there was a sort of sense of contention between me and Anna. He's like, oh, just trolls are watching now. But like, there was like now that's gone because he's kicked off YouTube. He's done. He's lost. He knows he's lost. His TikTok is done. He hasn't been on Rumble for 2 weeks. Like, he knows that's all down the shitter. And as he says, I've got my family, they'll give me 50 grand, so I don't need to grift the whole world anymore. I don't even need to fight the trolls. I just need to grift my daughter. So, like, that's the La La Land now, isn't it? Like, and for me, watching it as a detractor, like, there's times where it's really funny. This is kind of sad funny, like kind of sad as well as funny. And there's times where I feel like, oh, angry about it. Like, I don't know, recently I've not been feeling that angry about the people I detract in some ways. I go through cycles, I suppose, like anyone, feeling quite charitable, do you know what I mean? But like, I just, like, I don't need to, like, he's about to get his life, he described today, and it was transcribed by Curious Cat as, my life is in shreds. And like, you know, all he has now is his daughter's sofa. So, like, it's fucking pathetic and sad. This one for me is hilarious in many ways, but I don't have to go hard on him. Like, it just, you could see it for yourself, can't you? Like, you can just see it for yourself.
You're so clever.
La La Land. Look at it. Who does this? Delulu. Who does this? Who does this? There's children in the house. Is that what he's looking up to? Thinking about? Who does this?
Everything you say is so right and so clever. Even though you're talking at your backside. No one knows more than me about Chris Watts' case.
I'll tell you something else as well. He's about to get on to Chris Watts' case, yeah? Imagine he's done this. It's 10:30 in the morning he's done this, the trial thing. He's had to be at his family's house. They've got up in the morning. She's had to take a day off work, I assume, or maybe she doesn't. I don't know, whatever. Like, but I sat there with him, gone through it on the internet. 10:30 that is. They've had the whole day. Whatever's happened has happened. Dinner time, you know, it's now at night time, 10:30 at night, 12 hours later. And he's like, right, everyone's gone to bed. I've got my whiskey. It's time to switch on the live stream. Like, do you not feel like one of his members of his family might come down the stairs and say, hey, I thought we said we weren't doing this?
No one knows more than me about this civil case where someone's trying to sue me for what? Talking.
You don't know anything about it.
Hurty feelings.
Hurty feelings. Now he's using facile language like a child. He's been around children recently and he's behaving like a child in his family environment despite being what should be the patriarch. He's deferring to his daughter as the matriarch. Fair enough. Like, strong, powerful women, you know, take control of the family, whatever. But he's 70 years old and behaving like a baby in his own daughter's house.
Well, you have to prove quite a lot to win a defamation case.
Hey, Chuffy is not slagging off his daughter, Sarah. Chuffy's not saying anything bad about his daughter. It's her prerogative if she wants to help his father. I haven't said anything bad about her. It's her prerogative. That's their I don't go into the family. Like, you know, I wouldn't have this man around children myself. Like, he's a danger to children. Like, he's a sexual predatory. You know, we've seen it all. There's like a whole list of the things. I'm not just making it up. Like, but I'm not slagging off his daughter. I am surprised that at the last moment she swept in and sort of saved him. I think he was having some sort of emotional breakdown before that. We haven't seen him have it, but I think he's, you know, ended up, like, in order to get the mummy treatment, I think he's cleared out his bank account, spent it on the family holiday. During the family holiday, he's probably had some sort of emotional breakdown, and she said, I'll fix it all. We'll pay for the solicitors. Like, let's just do the court case first and ask for extra time, you know, sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's the most foolhardy. I would never take anybody to court because I know what it costs. And you're not guaranteed to win. And even if you do win, how are you going to get paid? So why would you take someone to court?
Are we back to this? Surely not. Did somebody put, like, the wrong record on the... Did somebody put the lineup? Is this Grimes' DJ set? Did somebody put the wrong records in the wrong order? I thought we said that you talked about that now, and now you were going to talk about fitness and field questions from chat.
Foolhardy, if you ask me. I'm going along with it because it's not costing me anything.
No, because someone else is going to foot the bill. Like, what the fuck?
Until now.
What?
Yeah, we'll give Winston a hug. He's fine. You guys here
Fuck
have
Winston.
brains and intelligence. You guys here have
Sycophantic sucking up to the people in his chat who give him money over the years.
jobs. You guys here have families and you have a shower every day.
What's he mean?
Until now. Yeah, we'll give Winston a hug. He's fine. You guys here have brains and intelligence. You guys here have jobs. You guys here have families and you have a shower every day.
Is that what his new regime is like? His daughter, in his daughter's house, they have a shower every day, and he needs to have a shower every day. It's one of the rules. Otherwise, he's not allowed to stay.
The trolls
Oh, it's us.
don't bother with personal hygiene. They
What?
don't bother to have anything other than hate.
He's just not very good, is he? I'm going to use his sort of level. Like, he's just not very good at thinking words up for saying. The trolls don't have showers. They just don't have anything except hate. Hate showers. I wash with a bar of hate soap. I'm all lathered up in hate. Don't have a shower. I just roll around in the hate. Dirty hate. Alan, you're a seedy, dirty monster. You smell of your own jerk off in your pants. Alan, come on. We don't have showers. Is that the level we're at now? I need to video myself in the shower to appease Alan. Next stream's going to be me showing you my personal hygiene routine to appease Alan. The man who videoed himself getting in the shower himself, singing along to Wonderful Life, having a shit in a shower himself. So maybe that's the level. What are we doing? Bad day in court, eh?
They sit in their lonely hovels.
Hovels. Do you know, like, after looking into it, obviously I can't publish where you live, but I've seen where you live, Alan. Like, you know, I've seen where you live. Like, you know, that you publish your address on Patreon, so I've been on the Google Maps and seen where you live.
In their lonely world, with only each other. AD, 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 AD.
That's a good one. Regardation police will enjoy that.
The lonely hovels.
Big ups, Joe Boy. How you doing? Big ups, Joe Boy. I've got 5. This is a good moment for this, isn't it? Big ups, Joe Boy. Let's hope you catch one of these. Let's show my support for myself by membership gifting. Free some gifts. Gift 5 gifts. Here's 5 gifts. Here's 5 gifts. Have them, you chuffers. Enjoy them. Let's see if we can roll one for Joe Boy. Shirley got one. Big ups. Joe Boy got one. Joe Boy got one. Look. Things do happen. Things do happen. Big ups, you chuffers.
In their lonely world, with only each other. AD, 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 AD. For the rest of their boring crap lives.
Crap lives. What were you doing with your life, Alan? What were you doing with your life? You sat in your box room talking about Nicole fucking Kessinger for the last 5 years.
Alan, do you want me to walk into your life wearing my clip-clop shoes and my brown bikini? Listen up, Alan, you bastard. You are never getting my clip-clop shoes or my kissy. I am Nickel-Dam Kessinger and I demand my kissy from Scotty Hottie. I want him to sex me off a proper good one. I need some kissy from Super Chuffer. Alan, you are a worm and you lose at poker all the time.
Oh no.
It's sad to see you scrubbing around and noncing about. You are pathetic and Rumble is where you belong, crushed under the YouTube clip-clop shoes. Clip-clop shoes of Nickel-Dam Kessinger.
Wow. Nicole Kessinger sending me messages. Wow. Big up Steve R. Thanks for the $1.99 super chat. Would you like a message from Nicole Kessinger?
Your Honor. I put it to you that the defendant, a one Mr. Alan Vinnicombe, the armchair detective also known as Angry Alan the armchair defective, the drunk detective, the artist formerly known as Knob, imprisoner of girls and singer with kids on Smule. I put it to you that this wormroach is in fact guilty of the civil crime of defamation. I am, of course, Nickel-Dam Kessinger KFC fake lawyer here to sue the pants of Angry Alan Kittycun.
No.
I will be the legal nightmare he never knew was cunning in my clip-clop shoes.
Not Nicole.
Clippy-cloppy around the courtroom. Nickel-Dam Kessinger needs questioning, eh? Well, Nickel-Dam Kessinger is doing the questions now. I'm asking the questions. I'm the lawyer, and Alan is in big trouble. Where's my Scotty Hottie for my kissy?
Me?
Clip-clop shoes.
Clip-clop shoes. Yeah. So Nicole Kessinger, the lawyer, suing Alan now. Oh no.
They're going to have to talk about me, but not see me, because I'm not going to be on social media much.
What? Are you really just going to... That's it then? The deal is... It's like a deal with the devil, except it's the opposite, isn't it? His daughter's actually doing the right thing. Stop off the internet, and I'll give you the 50 grand for the court case, and pay the damages if you lose. We'll sell that house you gave me, and we'll just be back to square one. And the deal is that you're not allowed on the internet, I suppose, isn't it? Like, he's cheating it now. They've probably gone to bed and he's having a little cheeky one, yeah? But, like, are we to assume that Alan is now not going to run his shows anymore because the grift is over? Because his daughter will give him money? Like, he's not allowed to play poker, is he? Because she's going to... Like, obviously feels like there's been some sort of deal struck. If you've got no money, you can't be going to play poker. If you lose the court case, they're going to want money from you. You can't be going to play poker. Poker is basically over. Accept it. Like, he's probably still doing it on his phone through the app or whatever, through the tippies he gets off those chuffers. They go straight into the poker. So he's always going to have, like, the people in his chat, the patrons, giving him money to play poker on the internet. That's always going to happen. He's going to keep that. He's going to try and slide it away, yeah? But the other stuff, like the big stuff, That's the like. It's like he's almost sort of saying, life has changed now. I've given in, and I'm going to just have to accept that life has changed. And what a great like whether like it feels like obviously he's going to lose the court case. Like it really feels like that, yeah. And it's more than that though. Like for Frankie Rusick, I've never been a big one going on about the Rusick stuff because it's before my time, and I've got my own beef with Alan. So like why do I need to sort of what's the word, partisan for an argument that I don't really understand fully, although obviously I've learned a lot about it since I've been covering Alan, but I've never sort of tried to say I'm here to fight that particular battle. That battle's been fought and I'm watching it happen, sort of thing, yeah. But for Frankie Rusick specifically, shouts out to him because it's not just a judgment that's going to change Alan's financial situation. Like obviously finances hurt the man. It's important to go for his resources, but it seems like this whole process and what it's forced him to do, which is to turn to others for charity and say, I need you to do this for me, because that's what he does, isn't it? He's turned to someone else and said, you need to do this for me. It seems like there's been some sort of deal made where he's going to be inhibited in his future. Like, you've got to choose between the family or the internet, basically. You've got to choose between the family or the streams, and the family will give you the 50 grand and the sofa. So, like, time to stop being on the internet. And he has been off the internet for the last 6 weeks, 6 days, to where we thought he's got an injunction. And I don't know if he had, but he stopped spending the money for the fake views. He stopped turning up. Obviously, the patrons would always be there, and he could literally do this in Teams. He was on Teams today, probably liked Teams. He's probably seen Teams today and thought, I'll get Teams. We'll start doing Teams. They're probably doing Teams. And he's going to stop doing this and start doing Teams. And I predicted that. I said eventually it'll be him on Zoom calls, just grifting them one-on-one. So he'll start doing Teams calls with them just to keep up with the patrons. And, like, maybe he would do that, although that's infectable by trolls, isn't it? So maybe this system is still safer. But I predict it's going to, retain this, the occasional talk to people on Rumble, just a chit-chat about shit. But I don't know if he's got an appetite for, or has made a deal where he cannot continue to talk about true crime in a big way on his channel. Well, have I got the perfect hairline? Me? Mine's going. Mine's going. Don't start me on the hairline. Mine's going. Why do you think I wear this hat? Mine's going.
But I'll still be their life, won't I? Oh, we hate AD. No,
do you know what? I will really look forward to the time when we can look back on it and say that was good, that was fun. Like we did a bit of one of those, didn't we? We did that episode. Alan, I don't intend to make you my full-time career. What a delusional though. He's like literally massaging his own ego with delusions now because that's all he's got left. Like it will end up. Like he's so lucky to have this aspect of the family to help him here, because otherwise this sofa would be a bench. Like this sofa would be a bench and he would be holding a bottle of whiskey and complaining about this stuff in the park. That's the only safety net is his family here. Otherwise, sofa, bench, park.
Hate. No hate, just the truth. We're not here to hate AD. We're here to tell the truth about AD. You don't even know me.
I know you well enough now, Alan. I've seen your character.
You don't know what I like, what I do,
Well, tell us all about it then, you fucking dick. Show us. Everything's fucking secret. Everything we see is seedy. Well, we know a bit about what you like and do, because when we've seen it in action, people can't hide who they are, because it's the real reality of what you've been doing. We've seen your smule. We've seen your smule.
I do behind the scenes. It's just the truth. We're not here to hate AD. We're here to tell the truth about AD. You don't even know me. At all. You don't know what I like, what I do behind the scenes. You know nothing about me. All you know is what someone tells you. What you believe.
What is this?
Yeah, they should try taking a shower, guys. Or maybe have a shave if you're a guy. Maybe have a shave and a shower.
Is it me with my fucking hell? Am I not allowed to be like modern bearded male? Look at my fucking hoodie. It looks like NASA. It doesn't matter. Just chill out. I smell nice. I'm clean. I've had a shower. We don't have to argue back and forth about whether I've had a shower anymore, all right? If you want me to start vlogging my showers and posting them on the internet, just for you, Alan, we can do shower check-ins if you want.
Maybe go out.
Because he brought showers up again. Oh, going out now. Says the man with no social life, no friends, no nothing, unless he pays for people to sit around a table with him at poker or buys a prostitute. And the man who's had to inflict himself on his poor family for the last 6 days because he's mental breakdown. Yeah, we'll go out, yeah. Oh, right. And I love this. This is a setup and a prelude to what's going to happen later in the year with me making more content out in the world with cameras. And I will clip this and come back to this and make an edit later on this year. I think that's what I should do. Is I should I don't have to do it over. I don't have to be pushed by someone like Alan to run. Oh, panic! Oh no, I'm not doing enough stuff outdoors. I've got friends. I've got a social life. I saw my friends last weekend for a game of pool and go around the house and talk about their lives. I don't have to worry about what Alan's pushing around here. But I think it'll be funny for this to come back and bite him on the arse like everything else does. Because he's the one that's going to be living the tragic, sad existence of a pathetic nobody, and the rest of us are going to be going on a big fun journey on the internet having fun. Like, we're all still here on YouTube for a start. You are allowed to have accounts on YouTube, so you're one step ahead of Alan, yeah, in terms of social stuff. He can't even go on YouTube and be social. Like, he's the one that's sat out in the cold. Like, go out.
Sometimes. Maybe leave your hovel and go out sometimes. Of course you can't, you're locked in, aren't you?
What? Are you locked in? What about you going out and just going down the pub and coming back when you want? Will your daughter like that? Treating her house like a hotel?
Oh dear. But you got each other, haven't you? You got each other to hate Vinnicombe on.
I need you to hate Vinnicombe on with me. We've got each other to hate Vinnicombe on. Like with tables.
What if I'm not here? What, you're going to hate on somebody else?
Yeah, Luke. They line themselves up. That fucking Jim from Coronation Street, Eamon Holmes. They line themselves up. It's not my fault. There's a load of nonsense out there. Not that all those people are confirmed nonsense, but yeah, we'll look around the internet and have a laugh at some of the other bad people. Yeah, I've been watching Nonce recently, and I don't think I can bring it to YouTube because they all get chucked off YouTube. But every now and then I have a big phase of when you watch a series on the internet or something. Every now and then I have a phase of watching the Nonce, and there's some really cool videos out there. But we might have to do it on Rumble, so maybe I'll start a Rumble and start watching Nonce on Rumble. Don't worry, Alan, we won't need you. It'll be fine. But every time you do something stupid, we'll be there to have a look. Don't worry.
Wait, why do you hate on somebody? Why not do something useful? Why not have a hobby or something?
What, like making YouTube videos about missing people on Super Chuffer, or constructing more well-informed documentary pieces about some of the subjects that come up during those conversational streams that we do? Yeah, okay, I'll get on that. Which mean my hobby, stuff I like to do in my free time, like playing video games, talking with people on the internet, detracting. I was on That Being Said the other day. That was a load of fun. We're going to have other people on my streams. But you mean going out and playing pool with my mates, stuff like that? Yeah, okay. Or going to lovely country pubs with the dogs and other people, and yeah, okay, I'll do that. I'm all right with my life. I feel like I'm having to I don't know why I did that. I'm having to personally defend my own sense of choices about how to enjoy my life and my social life against Alan's accusations. Oh, look what we're doing. He's turning it into an attack on other people. Is this some sort of projection? He's got no friends. Do you think, I wonder, this is a question, right? Alan's big day in court today, wasn't it? Alan's big day in court. There were a bunch of people there to watch him, to ridicule him. We're here having a laugh. His family were there behind him. But I wonder how many other people Alan had call him up and say, hey, I hope things go well today. I bet nobody gave a shit, did they, Alan? I bet you haven't got any friends on the poker circuit who gave you a ring. I bet everyone thinks you're a noncer. You're just you're throwing this out about everybody else. It's bizarre. We have a good time, don't we, BCTV? Yeah. Do you know what, BCTV? Shouts out. Oh, it's been in the news recently, the blood scandal. That's the pinboard thing. It's been pushed up the pinboard. Yeah, we'll talk about that again, yeah. But yeah, we have a good time. We're all right. I don't have to defend myself against Alan's strange accusations. In fact, he seems really bitter about it, doesn't he? At the end of it all, because I feel like things are kind of coming to an end, is the way he's trying to describe it. I don't think he will stay under the rock. I think he will come out and want to talk sometimes, want to be seen on the internet. But it might be that he ends up just on Zoom calls with his chuffers, but we're not under a rock. We're on YouTube. We've got a community. Like, things are still going on here. Like, you know, things go on into the future, and Alan just has to drift away and not be part of it. So he's eggy about that. That's what's basically happening, isn't it? Like, he's well eggy about that, and he's trying to turn it around and say that we're well rubbish, but like, we're not rubbish.
You don't have to hate somebody, right? It's not a YouTube thing that you have to hate someone.
No. But you started all this rubbish.
You see in Scotland what hate does. I saw a little old lady on my television last.
This is brilliant. Okay, this is what I've pined for so long. Don't give up the internet, Alan. Just come on Rumble twice a day and just talk nonsense about nothing harsh, nothing big, just whatever's on the top of your mind. Don't do immigration and don't do like the horrible murder. Just come on and chit chat. Like, you know, welcome to the internet.
Let's call her Helen from Scotland.
Helen from Scotland.
She lives in a sort of flats,
right,
with a communal garden, right?
Okay, got it, yeah.
In the centre. And she said hassle from certain other people in this.
Obviously, you're not just believing, like, because earlier Alan said that stupid people just believe things they're told, right? Not, you know, you need to be able to look into it yourself and research it and know the facts. So I'm not going to be stupid here, am I, and just believe what you're telling me? Or were you stupid enough just to believe what it said in the Daily Mail? Let's continue.
Community. And she saw somebody.
Alan, it's almost like you're trying to do some sort of community chit chat with people. Like, you don't have any friends.
Helen, she has a rose bush with roses. And she saw someone cutting down some of her roses, stealing them. And she went inside and she got a phone and took a picture. That's all.
Right.
Took a picture.
Got it.
Within 3 hours, she had 4 coppers inside her house telling her she's going to be arrested for hate crime. The person that stole the roses saw her take the picture and decided to report in Scotland, which you can do, decided to report her some false allegation that she called her something, and she didn't even speak to her. But this woman, to get in first, because she thought she could be reported for stealing the flowers, she decided to say Helen said, "You are a whatever," right? And the police turned up at her house. And they come in and sat down with her on the.
Okay, so Alan, who doesn't just believe what he's told, is telling you what it says on GB News. This is GB News, the website. They were going to handcuff me. Pensioner holds back tears as she recalls hate crime arrest. And this poor pensioner, Morag, she's not called Helen, but Alan couldn't remember her name. Morag, there she is. She's been taking photographs and doing other things with her neighbours who are of African descent, I think. So there's been stuff going on. It's not just a one-off. And she's been reported for a hate crime. And she's gone to the GB News. She was released without charge, but she's gone to the GB News. They were cutting the roses. She has photographed them. Like, we can imagine that it wasn't just as simple and clear-cut as Alan's telling us. The GB News are doing their reporting on it because it's heavily politicised. So Alan's just Alan will read the GB News and tell you that's the truth. So, like, well done.
Like this. And they said to her, "We're going to have to take you to the station, Helen." She's 73.
This would have been his show. If he was doing a show, he would have, like, you know, just used this for the basis of a show, wouldn't he? Like, what's he doing? And it makes me wonder, like, you know, I haven't said anything negative about his family, have I? But it makes me wonder whether they follow this sort of doctrine as well, whether they're also horrible, idiot racists. You know, people don't like me getting eggy about politics, but recently they banned smoking. Fair enough, ban smoking. It's not so bad for, you know, it's bad for you, isn't it? Ban it. Also ban cars as well, because they're bad for you because they kill people. And also ban alcohol, obviously. And then just start fucking abusing people's human rights and telling you what you can and can't do all over the show. And one little slip and then it's a slippy slope, isn't it? So thanks very much for the Brexit people who voted for Brexit. So now we don't have the European protections and the Court of Human Rights and all these collective rules. So now we can take back control and everything's getting banned and they're going to ban Christmas. So Like, yeah, don't get me started on this bollocks. You know that I'm basically against everything GB News stand for, the right-wing propaganda machine of the Conservatives.
So, no record, nothing. And Helen says, well, why? She says, we can't talk to you in the house. Now, what a waste of police money. Why couldn't they just say to them, someone's reported you for calling someone a name? No, they have to take her to the station.
What's this nonsense? I thought this was going to be good. I thought you were going to chit-chat about something, but you've watched the news on the GB News, and now you're eggy about what the GB News said. That's how it works. That's the point of this. They show you something that's racially biased or motivated, or get you eggy about the immigrants, or get you eggy about, and then they get you eggy, and then, now you're an eggy person. Like, that's what the GB News is for. What you have to do as a thinking person is say, well, I'm not going to watch what they say or get eggy about it, because it's obviously designed to leverage me and make me eggy and political. I'm not that stupid, am I?
What? Do you know what? A police van. And they said to her, we're going to have to handcuff you and take you in the van. She said, dear old lady, she said, please don't do that.
Yeah, I'm sure the police turned up and handcuffed a woman simply because she was having been lovely and made them a cup of tea. Yeah. And then when you hear it from her side, I'm sure she sounds great.
Go and sit in your van to these policemen, and I put my coat on and I come out. And to be fair to them, they said, okay. They could see it's ridiculous. So they went and sat
Our flag's not banned, no.
in the van, and the old lady put her coat on. She got in the...
What's happening is in London, when they do the protest, there are people turning up to make trouble. They're trying to antagonise people. And antagonising large groups of people in public, believe it or not, whether you think it's your legal human right or your, freedoms of speech, it's still considered a difficult problem for the police. So they try and shut that shit down. That's what's been going on there. And then they spin it politically. So you didn't have to go and wave your flag at the protest. You know what I mean? Like, you could just calm down. Like, it's just stupid political nonsense. So don't worry about that. We're all right. Most people in the UK do not think like these nonsense people that are spouting this nonsense. They're just very vocal because they've got lots of money and political clout. But when they did the 100 million march or whatever of people that were going to turn up in favour of racism, only about 10 people turned up. No one gave a shit.
Back of the van was driven for a 25-mile journey. She hadn't done anything, mind. 25-mile journey. And then they had to wait a quarter of an hour to go into the clink.
All right, don't you think the point more importantly here is that Alan, I know he's not doing a proper show here, but he's prepared to just read something. I just showed you it was on the GB News. I just showed it you. So, Daily Mail, GB News, that's in his head. That's the facts. Let's deal with the facts here. Aren't you more smart than that? Do you think that everything on the GB News is the pure facts and they're not trying to mess about with you and spin? No. We just believe it. I don't even need a filter for that. We might as well just pump the GB News straight out of my mouth. Hello?
When she got in, she had to take off all her jewellery, all her rings, all her watches. She knew she was being arrested. She's done nothing.
It's not even the point of today's episode. The point of today's episode is Alan had a bad day in court, and we've discovered that he's basically living on his daughter's, I'll say charity. I mean, it's family, isn't it? But, he's sat on the sofa, he's having the nice dinners, he's living the nicer lifestyle because they won't allow him to stay up till 5 a.m. drinking and playing poker. So he's losing weight. He's been on holiday with them, and the legal costs are covered. So Alan's in luxury la la land, somehow has fallen on his feet. He's still got till the 17th of May when proper judgment will come, and it will go against him, and we will be covering it.
But someone's phoned up and said someone called her a name. Hurt your feelings. Somebody called her a name. Because of this new guy, Joseph, or whatever he's called. Joseph Useless up in Scotland, taken over. Because of his new law. This is police procedure. 4 policemen. 25-mile drive. Treated like a criminal. Put in a room for an interview.
It's possible she was being antagonistic in a racial sense against her neighbours, and that there'd been a recorded previous history of it, Alan.
And yet the same police won't come and see you if you've had a break-in or someone's stolen your car.
Really?
Well, if they did, it wouldn't be within 4 hours, it'd be like 4 days.
Oh.
She was put to this ordeal.
Maybe that's because if someone's stolen your car, 4 hours is not going to make a difference these days. It's fucking gone, mate. Get it on the insurance, yeah? And if someone's in your house, they might turn up for the break-in, but if they've left, like, again, they're probably unlikely to return, so we will be sending the police out in due time. But if you're having a row with your next door neighbours and you're taking photos of them, like, then there may break out a more big problem, so the police have to respond to the direct human conflict rather than the it's a problem because the police are underfunded. In fact, I don't need to be going on about all this, like, you know, political stuff, but if for the last 10 years the Tories hadn't cut the police force, then they might turn up and be on the beat.
Right. So they sit.
Yeah, to be clear, says Curious Cat, he has to file his defence by 17th of May. Then the other party has 2 weeks to respond. Right? Because, see, I'm stupid. I still don't get it in my head properly myself. But then the other party has 2 weeks to respond. And then an in-person hearing will be scheduled for the first available date. Could be some time away. Okay. So he's got to file a defence. Still, he's not filed the defence. 17th of May is deadline day for the filing of the defence. The other party will respond. For 2 weeks they'll have to respond. They probably won't take 2 weeks, will they? But yeah, the hearing will be scheduled and then it will happen. I don't think it will take too long after that either, because once the ball's rolling, you know. But yeah, that's the setup. And Alan's got 2 weeks to find A, 50 grand, which it seems like someone's going to give him, and B, for that 50 grand to provide a legitimate defence. They will write up a legitimate defence. Alan will tell them it's this, it's this. They will write it up in legal speak. Whether it's going to hold water and win is a different matter, but I'm sure the lawyers that he finds will be happy to take the 50 grand.
They sit her down and say, Helen, it seems you called somebody a name. 4 policemen, a 25-minute drive, make her feel like she's under arrest because of useless. Scottish National Party, you want to put that in the bin. If anybody votes Scottish National Party, I won't speak to them again. I'm sorry if you're a Scottish nationalist, but I think that your replacement for the poison dwarf is not good. Not good at all.
Obviously, GB News Agenda is against Scottish Nationalist Party because they're a conservative news agency, the GB News. They represent the Conservative Party, and the Scottish Nationalist Party is not in the Conservative Party, so they want them to lose so the Conservatives can win more seats.
So
you have to be able to read between the lines when it's politics, Alan.
She says, I didn't do anything. The lady was stealing my roses, so I took a picture. I haven't reported it. I just took a picture in case I need it. Oh, they say. Sorry for bringing you in. You can go. How much did that cost the Scottish taxpayer? 4 policemen, a van journey, 30 minutes. Couldn't they have done that over the phone? At the cost of a phone call? Did it need to spend, what, £500 on it?
I feel like maybe one of his subscribers might have written this because it's Scottish. Isn't Kaka Scottish? And like Kaka is Scottish, so has these like eggy things that she wants him to talk about. So she supplies him with it. And I feel like he might be obliged to sort of keep her, keep her on by, oh, I talked about your thing tonight, remember? Like, you know.
Put her through that because of useless Joseph and his hate crime. Do you know why he's put in this hate crime? It's not for you or me or anyone. It's in case anyone becomes Islamophobic and criticizes the great peace religion, Islam. Then you're going to be arrested. That's what the law's for. That's when you're going to go to court. When you question Islam, don't mark my words, Scottish people. That's when it's going to kick right in. When you say, I don't want this Islam religion taking over our lives, that's when you're going to be arrested. You don't believe me? A guy was arrested in London yesterday for having a flag, for having a sign saying Hamas is a banned organization. He was arrested. Hamas is a banned organization. He put it up.
Is that a specific political sign in a position where we're not allowing political motivated arguments in public due to there being protests and political unrest? Are we talking about a specific... I don't even know if this is true, what Alan said. Remember, I'm supposed to research it and find out. I assume it's just a load of bollocks, isn't it, Alan?
He was arrested.
You'll be arrested for being British next. You can't even be English now. They'll arrest you. The Muslims are trying to take over.
That's the future of going against the great Islam.
Oh, my God.
Don't do it. And people are going to be scared to do it, right? Believe me, already. They're going...
Noddy Robinson, this is.
We can't say anything about Islam. No. We can't say there's still a roaring slave trade in the Middle East, in Muslim countries. I can't say that. Because they're so hurt by us daring to criticise that religion.
Alan, we critique the fucking... Like... Anthony Joshua goes and boxes in a country where he's not allowed to be openly gay. and he takes loads of money for it. Like, we critique, and that's not Islam specific, that's country, I suppose, Saudi Arabia, but like, critique goes back and forth. I mean, who is we and what are we not? And this is ridiculous.
And that's now. Imagine when they're in charge, when they've got the Islamic Party in charge. You don't even know what's coming, do you?
The Islamic Party, probably, and they'll win by being a majority of, like, oh wait, hang on, like, they make up like just a tiny sliver of a minority in the UK. So
anyway,
that's
what I worry about my grandchildren.
Yeah, they're all going to be sexed over by the Islams, so we better get rid of all the Islams. Glad you've helped sort society out. Which page of the Bible did you lift that from?
At the moment, I'm worrying about my health because I had some more problems.
Can't get it up anymore. Had a meltdown, mental meltdown. What does he mean here?
Anyway, that's what I worry about my grandchildren. But now, at the moment, I'm worrying about my health because I had some more problems. Blood pressure problems. I had some more blood pressure problems.
It's interesting that you had to grasp for that and not blood pressure problems. So blood pressure is something that's safe that he's had before that he can say. So it might be a lie. Might be to do with not a heart attack, but a panic attack. Blood pressure problems. Heart attack, panic. I think panic attack meltdown is what I think. You tell me in chat what you think. What is because he did have some sort of health issue. Like, I think that's true. He just said it, just came out, but they didn't want to tell you exactly what it was. So I wonder what it was. What do you think in chat?
Anyway, that's what I worry about my grandchildren.
Certainly heavy drinking, all this pressure and all that, I think will lead to panic attacks.
But now, at the moment, I'm worrying about my health because
you think tramadol come down?
I had some more problems. Blood pressure problems. I had some more blood pressure problems because of all the stress I'm going through. Whenever
that could be not being able to get it up. You need blood pressure to get it up.
Go through a lot of stress, I get blood pressure problems. So I thought I've got to take a few weeks off, work on this case, work on my health, work on my fitness, and that's what I've been doing.
Why did you lie then?
But
I suppose he did say he was trying to work on the case, but like, you know, the chains will come off all this. Why didn't you just talk to people? Like, take a few weeks off to work on your fitness. We've already talked about this.
I need your patrons.
Big ups, Joe Boy. Yeah, I don't know anything about the SNP, but I do know that the GB News will not like them because they're not the Conservatives. So I don't want to really get too heavy into politics, but you know me, I like to think that there's good people all over the world and we should be like open arms to, not like, obviously we need border control. I'm not like some fool, but like, you know, Alan's horrible rhetoric of send them all back, get rid of all the packies, like, you know, all that nonsense. That needs to go completely in the bin. Like, I've got no time for that shit at all, so.
To stay here because it's a long road, but we're coming to the end of the road.
Yeah. I do feel that in a way.
Once this civil case is out of the way, we can get back to normal, can't we?
Oh, God, really? I thought you were going to jaff it in. Well, once you've been ruled against and you have to spend hundreds of thousands of pounds, it's time to get back to normal, which is tramadol nights, high on coke, ranting on the internet, true crime, grifting people for monies. Oh, lovely.
That's what I want to do. And I'm hoping one day the fund that's raised to raise money to get me locked up switches off one day. It'd be nice for it to switch off, wouldn't it?
Well, it will, because they'll win.
Peace will be restored. I'm not on YouTube. Peace should be restored to the streets of YouTube.
And then I can start my civil claim against Alan for defamation with all the things he said against me. And we can start a brand new fund and lodge a brand new appeal and just have that hanging over his head for the next 2 years.
And you guys, honestly, you don't need to talk about me anymore. Why are you so obsessed with a 69-year-old man that's not even on YouTube? Why are you still obsessed with me?
Still obsessed? You're a massive arsehole. People want to see the conclusion to this story. We want to see the fine. We want to know how it affects you. It's time for you to get your comeuppance.
I'm nothing to you. Forget about me. I don't talk about the Watts case. The Watts case is gone.
You just said you were going to get back to normal after all of this.
Finished. So why continue with your obsession?
I've got nothing to do with the Watts case.
Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching me. Love you guys that support me all these years. And again, it's all going very swimmingly.
That's poker bluff. Tell him the opposite. It's obviously gone right to shit, but somebody's bailed you out. Oh, creepest face at the end. I love the creepest face. We'll keep the creepest face on. We didn't finish this.
The judge asks him, have you seen the long list of ways in which you've failed to comply with the court's order? And Alan...
Big ups, Curious Cat. I'm just going to speed it up a little bit. Not to, like, you know, I don't want to make people feel bad if I'm, you know, friend, I'm speeding up. But just for brevity, like, just a little bit.
And says, okay, all I can say is I'm a litigant in person. I did my best. I answered the points that are either my opinion or...
And if you want to listen to the whole of it, you know, in your own time properly, then Curious Cat's there. I'm going to keep doing this, just finished in one episode. I'm going to, because we started earlier, I'm just going to make sure that, because as we were going through it, I was sort of trying to make it really clear what was happening. So I just want to finish it off a little bit.
Are true. Those videos don't exist anymore. My channel's gone. I can't even review this evidence. How can I put up a defense when they don't exist? And I'm dyslexic, doing my best. The videos are from 2021. You're supposed to have a year maximum. It's too long ago. The judge then says, it's always tempting in this situation for the court to respond with mercy, which would be to give you more time. Oh, hey Scott.
Big ups, man.
But all I'm hearing from you and what I see doesn't encourage me that there would be anything to be gained by doing this.
So Alan had his little rant about, it was from years ago and this and that, and the judge didn't respond to any of what Alan said about years ago and they're supposed to do it within a year. Like, it's irrelevant, Alan talking nonsense, so he just ignored it. And the judge said, I'm inclined to give you more time and show you mercy. And like I say, I think this is because they want Alan to spend another 50 grand on a defence that's money down the toilet. The judge will be happy to see him waste his time and money. They've wasted enough of the court's time and money already. So why not have Alan spend 50 grand and another 2 weeks 4 weeks wasting his time? Yeah, that money can go in the toilet. And then the judge is also thinking, if it comes to an appeal and Alan says, I wanted more time, they wouldn't give it me, can I have an appeal? Legally he might have grounds for an appeal, you know, but they won't have any grounds for an appeal here because they will have given him every single piece of ground and rope and space to ruin it for himself.
Can you put forward more of a compliant defence? The KC made an important point that these rules exist not to trip you up, but to bring order, authority and understanding to the claim to enable it to be resolved.
And there's the judge agreeing with the prosecution, with, I assume, Cohen, agreeing with them, saying these rules are not there so that court speak makes it difficult for you. They're there so it's very clear and very, very clear. They're there, like, the court is good and you're complaining about it and we are the court. So the judge thinks one way, Rusik's lawyer thinks the same way, and Alan is on the other team. And it's not a good, like, sort of mental space to be setting yourself up in, but the court has acknowledged, and so has the King's Counsel there.
If you don't follow the rules, this can't happen. And a just resolution won't be possible.
It's just so that we can make sure we have a proper court case. It's in your own benefit, Alan.
Oh yes, Scott, I don't know if you hear from the beginning. It was hilarious. Alan then says, I have a top lawyer in London ready to file a defence at a cost of £50,000. If you're saying they don't have to put up the money, I'll spend the £50,000 and you'll get a defence better than anything Cohen could do.
Oh, you'll get a defence better than anything Cohen could do. If you say they'll put up the money, he's still going about this chuffing money. The judge has already said you have to make an application for the money.
The judge says, the reality is that no order or application exists for this.
You didn't put in an application, Alan.
That the claimant has to put up money first. That's just wishful thinking. Then Alan says, I didn't know that. The previous solicitor told me this was the law.
They told him it was the law, meaning if you put in an application, if you pay us to do it, then we can do this for you. Alan just assumed, right, well then I'll just scare them off with that. But he didn't do it.
I paid £3,000 for their advice and you've just told me it's wrong.
Imagine telling the judge, I paid £3,000 for someone to tell me something and you're telling me it's wrong. So somewhere along the line, I need another £3,000 here.
I'll get my relation to put up the £50,000,
Oosh.
but I need time. And the judge says, you mean you need more time? And Alan said, well, now I understand. Give me 4 weeks. I've put a counterclaim in that you have, and I've paid the fee for this. This doesn't end today. Your courts have taken the money for this, so I've no idea why you're trying for a judgment today.
He thinks because he's put in a counterclaim that the court can't rule against him today.
Sorry. I am trying, and I couldn't do any more without speaking to you. My life is in shreds. I've lost everything. I'm not going to be bullied by someone in America. At this point, the judge cut him off. And the judge addressed the KC and said, is there anything you want to say in response? And the KC said, yes. Regarding the security of costs, we've been down this road before when the defendant did have legal representation.
So in the past, we've already talked about these costs.
He referenced the fact that it's the claimant who has strong prospects at trial, and there's no basis for anything the defendant has done for the court to make the provision of costs order. Secondly, the defendant
basically, Alan has not, the court has not asked us to put forward the costs. Oh, what did I press then? Doesn't matter.
Down this road before.
The court has not asked them to give provision. Like, we're basically having the same conversation over and over again until Alan can fully understand it.
Or when the defendant did have legal representation. He referenced the fact that it's the claimant who has strong prospects at trial, and there's no basis for anything the defendant has done for the court to make the provision of costs order. Secondly, the defendant is now saying repeatedly that there is some better defence, but he hasn't outlined anything which could amount to a defence of truth or facts in which any opinion could be based. The best example is his claim that the videos are no longer available. It's not the videos that were the basis of the claim. It's the facts on which the allegations in the videos are based.
So Alan's giving a load of nonsense in his reports to the court, and they're saying it doesn't matter if the videos are deleted, it's what you said that matters, and we've all been saying this, and now he's having to hear it in court.
We've heard nothing from the defendant today that he has any coherent case to put forward.
Alan has not got a coherent case to put forward. This is obviously the prosecution is saying this, you know, his opposition, that's their point.
Judge then says, I can't believe I gave him much license to put those forward, quite frankly.
And it seems like the judge agrees, because the judge can't believe that he allowed Alan to even put that shit in front of the court.
Alan then interrupted the judge.
Alan interrupted the judge.
I mean, this is just typical Alan behaviour throughout this. It's exactly as we expected it would be. So then Alan says, he said I gave his phone number out. Well, it was given to the CBI in an interview. It's all over YouTube. I've got 100 examples. My case is fantastic. I sent it to you in the Dropbox. The KC then responds and says...
So Alan said his phone number's all over the internet. I can't, you know, he's basically trying to argue his case in this hearing, which this, as he said, this hearing wasn't about this. It was about the unless order. But yeah, go ahead.
Well, the defendant may be right that there has been previous public disclosure of the phone number, but that's not the point of the complaint. Sorry, of the complainant, or the complaint, yeah. The point is that the defendant, in a context where he was endlessly rehearsing distressing theories about the deaths, himself gave out that number to his subscribers.
So now in the public court, recorded, like Alan brought this up about the phone number and they pointed out, they're correcting him, public in the court in front of the judge. Alan was doing endless theories about these deaths and giving out this phone number in that context, and that's worse, it's bad. So Alan unfortunately opened up that little door on the advent calendar of, should I say this? No, I shouldn't. It's made it worse for me. But now it's been publicly stated by his opposition in much more clear terms why that's bad.
With the results, Alan then tried to interrupt again. The judge told Alan to be quiet. So the case continued. The defendant gave out the number to his subscribers with the result that this information was further circulated online. This is not a good point for the defendant to alight on. Alan interrupts again and got told off by the judge again. Casey continues, not a good point for the defendant to alight on because he in fact admits misusing this private information. He's not outlining how he could defend this. Alan then speaks, says, it's a total fabrication, like him saying he can't work because of me. He said he couldn't
So
work
Alan does not defend the point, but moves on to this other point about being unable to work.
for 2 years even before the murders.
He's doing his thing.
I was helping his family.
I was helping his family. Like, can you believe this? This is what I can't understand. Is I thought all those things he was saying to us on the streams, I thought that was him just ranting at the streams. I didn't think he would take it to court like that. I thought he'd be wise enough to think, this is some bollocks I give to the audience to try and convince them, but in court I'm going to need to do better. But instead, he just took all that stuff he'd been constantly saying all those times on all the streams and said it in court. On the Teams call in court, which is incredible, isn't it? When you think about it, that is an incredible level of delusional narcissism.
He said he couldn't work for 2
And this is not even the moment to do it. This is a hearing about Alan's lack of presenting a defence, an unless order to see if Alan's going to present a defence. And he's trying, like, what the court is understanding is they're being really, really kind to, I say the court, the judge, they're being really kind to Alan here because they're allowing him to sort of explain it in layman's terms and explaining back to him, this is not good enough. Like I said, you've handed in your homework and it's an F, but come back and remark it and you've got a chance. Like, not a chance to win, but we will allow you a fair crack of the whip. Like, they're being really fair to even allow him to say this stuff, like, about any of this nonsense. They're shutting him down when he says it, but isn't it really interesting that he's giving it that I've been gang stalked and they've done this and they've done that, and all the stuff he said to us on all these streams all this time is now his legal defence, and it's not even time for it, not in this way.
It's a total fabrication, like him saying he can't work because of me. He said he couldn't work for 2 years even before the murders. I was helping his family. I proved Shanann didn't kill the children. I want to let you know. And then the judge shut him up again.
And then the judge shut him up again. Wow. Wow. Imagine going in there and say, I wanted to help prove that Shanann didn't kill the children. What? This is a preliminary hearing to see if you're going to outline a defence. And your defence is, I wanted to help the family. I was doing the shadows. I'm the one on YouTube. Like, what?
So the judge says, I think I'll strike a balance between both parties. I'm minded to allow a further period of time for the defendant to follow through and get the legal representation he clearly needs.
So he's telling Alan, you need legal representation, and I'm going to give you time.
Before it's too late.
Before it's too late.
He needs to put forward a compliant, amended defence.
He needs to put forward a defence.
After which, there could be a further 7 days to put in an application for judgment.
So then there could be a further 7 days, as Curious Cat said. So up to this point, Alan is still in a position of having not lodged a proper compliant defence, meaning he hasn't got a leg to stand on. If they go to court tomorrow, he hasn't got any, like, he can go in court and say nothing, and then it's over. Because I know it's court speak and it's the right forms and legalese and the lawyers are trying to get the money, but ultimately, as they've all said, because they run the courts and they agree with this, it's because they need to have a system. It's got to be done properly, and Alan has not up to this point been able to do it properly. And he said 50 grand, I'm going to get a defence. It might not cost 50 grand for Alan to get a defence. It might cost 3 grand, it might cost 10 grand, who knows. I don't know how much it's going to cost, but he's now prepared to foot the bill and pay for a solicitor, and he's got 4 weeks to do it. And the court has been so generous to give him that time, because they really could have just turned around and said, no, sorry, Alan, today's judgment day and deadline day, and you didn't meet the deadline, which means it's my belief that they're not letting room for him to have any sort of, I don't think they will allow any sort of appeal after this. Because, like, whilst he might allow 7 days to, when they get the appeal, they'll turn it down and say, we gave you that time, we gave you extra, we gave you the advice, there's no, this is watertight here. And I think if he's foolish enough to spend £50,000, that is money in the toilet. Because, like I said, I think the court is seeing him, like, they're smarter than him. This judge is smarter than Alan, and he's seeing a desperate poker player putting more chips and more chips on the table. And they're about to lose all those chips. So you keep putting on chips, Alan. Here's another 2 weeks. Put on some more chips. We'll call it a month. Put on some more chips. They're going in the like that. So that's what they're doing. They're stringing him out.
By a similar date, the defendant must make any further applications he needs to make. I'm not interested in drop boxes. It has to be proper applications that the court recognises. He then says to Alan, you mentioned 4 weeks.
I'm not interested in drop boxes. Like literally telling the man, stop fucking me about sending me this fucking Dropbox links. I'm not opening any of your Dropbox links.
Is that realistic? And Alan says, I'd like as long as possible. And the judge says, this is not leisurely. This is...
Wait, I'm going to come back to this and we're going to listen to Alan's funny and the judge's funny response. But how dare Alan say, I'd like as long as possible, when he says that having this hanging over his head is a mental distress to him that he wants to end. But he's dragged it out as long as possible and would like to continue to drag it out as long as possible. Let's see what the judge thinks about that.
And says, I'd like as long as possible. And the judge says, this is not leisurely. This is flashing blue lights time. 4 weeks. Understood? And then Alan says, agree.
So he's now made the judge angry again. And the judge points out flashing blue lights time. What does that sound like? Flashing blue lights time. It's almost criminal, isn't it? It's police. Like, I think the judge, I've got this sense that Alan offends the judge, offends the court in principle. Like Alan's presence, Alan's what he does, who he is. You know, this judge is not in the legal profession because they wanted to commit crimes and be a grifter, and they will see Alan as someone who's a potentially criminal grifter, won't they? And they'll think this bad man is before the court and he's messing me about and he's wasting our time and money. So you wait, we've got something in store for you.
The judge says 17th of May is in 4 weeks' time, so it will be the 24th of May for any applications that the KC wants to make relating to this defence. And we will come back as an in-person hearing.
Okay, so 17th and 24th, they're 2 dates to note. And an in-person hearing. So I'm looking forward to that, because if we were granted access to the video hearing, we can go to the in-person hearing. But like I said, it will come out in, like, at the end of it, there will be the full written transcript and we'll be able to dramatise it. But because in the future I may be brought before the courts, I don't want to offend them before I've done anything naughty by actually broadcasting his actual thing on my stream. That would be a huge mistake. But look out on the internet, because like I say, you know, these things have a habit of being leaked and getting out there some ways, don't they? So there was a lot of people in that call. As he said, there were a lot of people in there. So there's a lot of people out there with recordings potentially. Not that, you know, people would record it, but you know what I mean? In general, there's a lot of people out there with the potential. So there's a lot of potential for something like that to be leaked. So just look out. But for now, we're going to have to... I'm really grateful for Curious Cat for doing the transcript, and Alan will say it's not true. Alan will say it's lies, yeah? But it will all be, at the end of it, after the final judgment, fully transcribed, like all of it. And the judgment will include sections of transcription. So don't worry, like Alan will not be able to hide behind his lies.
The KC then...
I don't know what it's like in America, right? But in the UK, it's a contempt of court offence for me to publish this. So, like, you know, for me to publish a video, you know, to do that, it would be contempt of court offence. So
asked for 2 weeks, and the judge agreed. Okay, you can...
Sorry, yeah.
The KC wants to make relating to this defence, and we will come back as an in-person hearing. The KC then asked for 2 weeks, and the judge agreed. Okay, you can have 2 weeks after the 17th of May to respond to whatever defence is put forward.
So the KC wants to be able to respond to whatever Alan does. That's fair enough, isn't it? They're not trying to drag it out, but they want their time to respond.
Says Alan and says, if you're going to make an application, you must make any of these by the 17th of May, including your amended defence. No more requests, proper applications. Alan says, can I request for them to lodge the money? And the judge says, you need to request that by the 17th of May.
So he can apply for them to lodge the money. Whether the judge will accept it, like the judge will accept the application, but whether they will grant it is another story, isn't it? But he can apply. Again, if he wants to do it properly, he seems to have exhausted all his resources so far. It's only a solicitor that will be able to do that. So it's about spending more money.
Alan says, you could see, by the way, Alan then was clearly relieved. And he said...
So relieved, because he's been banging on about this money a lot. So he clearly, I think, you know, he lives in this delusional la-la land. I think he really believes that if he can force them to put up the money, they will back down. I think that's his last chance, in a way, like to think, he thinks they don't have that money, and if he forces them to lodge it, you know, to physically get the cash and put it on the table, that they will say, sorry, I'm going to back down at this point then. And like, he is sorely mistaken, surely.
Okay, I'll do it properly. That's all I needed to know.
I'll do it properly. Like he's not been trying.
And then there was a funny part where the judge froze a bit, etc. And they kept asking Alan to turn his camera off, but he kept saying he didn't know how.
Big ups, new hobby. He's been in today having a big chat in a Teams call with the courts, and there is a date of the 17th plus a week of May.
Eventually he did. And then the judge asked the KC if there's anything else he wants to seek today. The KC just stated the effect of the order you've made is to vary an existing on less order, giving more time for the defendant.
Very good job of the KC there on Frankie's side to make sure it's all clear what's going on. What you've done is you've changed our unless order to give him a bit more time.
So he's basically just stating, yep, the judge has varied the existing order. And that was it. The judge said, that's it. The business for today is dealt with. So there you go. Basically, he's got until the 17th.
Is it me that's not understanding the process, Betsy? Sorry. All defamation cases must try setting. You give your terms, may include money to reimburse Cohen Davis partial pro bono and ask for an injunction.
To do his proper legal applications, submit a legal compliant defence. And it looks like if he doesn't, then he's lost. I haven't been keeping up with chat, so let me just...
Do you want me to go on and listen to the chat conversation, or is that's the court case? So if you want to listen to the chat conversation, like just generally, go and subscribe to Curious.
Feel free to put in chat any questions you want to ask about.
You'll like that cat, look, that's the Curious Cat. I'll put it in chat there. That's the transcribed hearing for you so that you can listen to it unadulterated. Yeah. What a night. I feel pretty fucking... I don't know. It's past midnight now. It's always midnight, but I don't know. I'm a bit mind blown as well myself. I'm a bit mind blown. Like my summation of it is Alan didn't know what he was doing. He walked into the lion's den there and he just got badly. He was so lucky. He was so lucky. He got away with he could have got swatted like a fly in court today, and they could have said, no more time on the unless order. You didn't file a defence. I am now going to move on to processing, or whatever the thing is. But I think now he's got this extra time. It gives him that time. And he's, like he said, someone else is going to pay the money. So he doesn't even have to think about it now. The solicitors deal with it. He's probably done a full wobbly meltdown, pretended to have a heart attack. They've gone into the hospital. It's an anxiety attack instead. I'll pay the money, Dad. That sort of thing, yeah? So now he's just in a sort of like comfort zone of staying with family and allowing them to pick up the slack. And then after this is all done in May, I don't think he's going to do a lot on the internet between now and then. He'll probably do bits and pieces, but I don't think he's going to do a lot. He will probably go back to his own living arrangements. He can't stay with the family until May. But I don't know what they can do actually, but we'll see. But at some point I predict he will, he can't resist the temptation to get on his Rumble, to get on his thing and do his talking. So we'll keep an eye on it. And as May rocks around, like I said, there's more and more chance that it'll be a public gallery situation. And finally Alan will come face to face with some of the people that he's been talking about on the internet for all this time, while they watch him get adjudicated against in the court, and then maybe stand on the court steps and say, Mr. Vinnicombe, have you got anything to say to the cameras? Like, obviously you can't assault me in public on camera, so what do you want to talk about? Like, I'm a media producer and you've been in court. True crime drama. I'm here reporting. I'll get Simcast to do it. I'll get her. I'll be on the camera and Simcast can have the microphone and get Simcast to do it. If Simcast is out there listening to this, which I hope she might be, we had a little look at that Aussie Dave the other day, and he did a bad video against Simcast, and I said, right, you get off my Simcast, you leave her alone. So that Aussie Dave, if he's listening, he wants to get fucking well away from Simcast and stop talking about her in a negative setting, because it's well out of order. And you fucking Aussie Dave, you shut the fuck up and stop talking about Simcast. So there are other people out there other than Alan. But yeah, this has been a really good one, hasn't it? It's been really interesting. It's been really enlightening, finally, to find out. Because finally, I should have made a big song and a dance out of it and a thing, but finally, really what's happened is that we've had proper judgment from a judge who's put into context all this stuff. And Alan can't hide. Like, everything we've been saying is right. They think he's wasting their time. It's a load of nonsense. If he can scrape together a defence, it's going to be flimsy. Mostly, importantly, the judge and Cohen, like, you know, in this particular case, the judge has got a good vibe going with one of the parties, and the other party he sees as an antagonist. So Alan is unlikely to receive much favour from the court. Like, he'd have to categorically win in no uncertain legal terms in order for them to, like, they've already shown him enough favour. So when it comes to judgment, they don't have to. That's what I'm seeing is being set up. So I think that we're going to, big ups Leslie, yeah, you think Simcast popped him on first, but I'm telling them, stay away from my Simcast. But yeah, if overall, like, what we can see from this is Alan's got a safety net. He doesn't have to worry himself. He's in mental la-la land, and he's probably had some sort of meltdown along the way. We can hope that he will come back on the internet and talk nonsense. Please, like, just stay away from all that political horrible. I assume Alan watches even though he's not supposed to. Like, stay away from the political horrible. It does nobody any good. Like, let's have a laugh. What happened to Torchy the Battery Boy? You know, what happened to good old Torchy the Battery Boy?
Where's Nancy?
Where's Nancy?
Where's Nancy anyway?
High heels on my tippies.
That's not the right buttons.
Torchy the battery boy.
Torchy the Battery Boy. Torchy the Battery Boy. Torchy. Light on. Yeah, Torchy that. I remember Torchy when I was a little tiny boy. I used to love Torchy. Torchy the Battery Boy.
That was my favourite of all of Alan's streams sometimes, I think. I mean, there's a lot of different favourites, obviously, isn't there? There's the AD and all this. And like, but that was one of my favourites. And like, why would you only get one of them? Like, you know, come on, Alan. Like, just be a normal... And like, maybe even we'll do a stream and it'll be fun, you knob. But yeah, he's having a bad time, and he's rolled into his loving arms of not his mommy, it's his daughter. To finish off tonight, actually, before we finish, I've got a couple more messages from Kessinger, if you want them. How would you like a few more messages from Kessinger? What do you think about that?
Nickel damn Kessinger heard what you said, Alan. Nickel sexy brown, bikini clip, clop shoes Kessinger. I want my Scotty hottie, so bad. You said, I haven't slept more than an hour since then. If you don't believe me you can ask my spanners, but I'm up all night, and so are they. You've trashed them. The spanners are exhausted. I'm exhausted to have to leave my own house because of some maniac that was fed crap by a bunch of truthers, and he ran with it, and he gave him tips, and he got excited, and he got more tips. And he now thinks he's a famous person. Well, suddenly the tips are dried up because the truthers are in reverse. What have you done to that man? What have you done to him? What have you fed him on? AD's sexual deviant. AD is a con man. AD is a crook. AD owes tax. AD. What did you do to him? He turned it into a faking monster where he does 8-hour lives, 8 hours trashing me, and you're in there laughing and giving him tips and saying we love you. It's like the madness of King George, you pathetic cretins. The madness of King George, directed by the truthers. Sick, oh we love you, Scott Forer, we love you, Scott you're so clever. Truth Justice, oh you're brilliant, Scott Martin DM go on Scott here. Some more info. He sells children to America from pizza orders. Yeah, it's true, Scott, I checked it all out. Yeah, it's all true. Don't be granny going on about so, and Seville left, right and center feeling some more crap, and some more tippies. That's fine, but you have to understand the human side of what you're doing. You were invented 5 years ago to shut me down.
Okay, Nicole. It's an interesting message that she sent me.
Dear Scotty Hottie, I hope this letter finds you well, my dear. It's been quite some time since we last spoke, and I've embarked on a new journey that I must share with you. You see, life has taken me down unexpected paths, and I find myself immersed in a world quite different from the one you knew me in. I've embraced a new identity now that I can't be Nickel damn Kessinger. My new identity is one that goes by the name of Sandra D. It's a persona crafted for the high-stakes world of poker, where every hand is a gamble and every decision is a risk. It's thrilling, Scotty, to be part of this international circuit, where the stakes are as high as the adrenaline that courses through my veins. Gone are the days of mundane routines and predictable outcomes. Now, I live for the rush of the cards, the tension of the table, and the exhilaration of outsmarting my opponents. It's a world where skill and strategy reign supreme, and I've found my place among the best. But amidst the glamour and excitement, there's a part of me that longs for the simplicity of our past. I find myself reminiscing about our shared moments, the laughter we shared, and the connection we once had. You were always the one who understood me like no one else, Scotty, and your absence is felt even in the midst of this bustling world.
Oh.
I miss our kissy time so much. I just want more Scotty hottie kissy time. If I send you some pictures of me in the bikini, you think you would keep them between us? I still have my clip-clop shoes, my sweetheart. Perhaps one day our paths will cross again, and I'll be able to share with you the tales of my adventures as Sandra D, the poker player. Until then, know that you hold a special place in my heart, and I carry the memories of our time together wherever I go.
Oh.
With love, Sandra D aka Vinnicombe Kessinger.
Oh, Nicole.
P.S. I never see that twat Alan on the top poker circuit. He is a loser and a laughing stock. What a loser. Is he still on Rumble? Haha.
Oh.
Dear Alan, I hope this message finds you well. I wanted to reach out to you with a special request, one that comes from the heart. I've been watching your videos on Rumble, and I must admit, they're quite impressive. Your talent shines through, and it's clear that you have a gift for creating captivating content. I'm wearing my clip-clop shoes. Can you imagine them walking around? Anyway, I find myself in a bit of a predicament, Alan. You see, those videos of yours on Rumble, well, they're causing a bit of trouble for me. I've realized that you're onto me, and I understand your concerns. But I want to assure you, Alan, that I mean you no harm. In fact, quite the opposite. Clip-clop shoes. I'm reaching out to you because I want to keep you sweet, Alan. I want to make things right between us. So here's my proposition. I'll give you all the kissies you desire if you agree to remove your videos from Rumble. Let's settle this amicably and move forward on good terms. I know what you like. Clip-clop shoes and kids. I know Alan. I'm a Scarlet woman. Clip-clop. I promise to make it worth your while, Alan. Just consider my offer, and let's resolve this in a way that benefits us both. I look forward to hearing from you soon. With sincerity, Nicole Kessinger.
Wow. 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 Nicole Kessinger had a message for Alan, didn't she?
Vinnicombe Kessinger.
Oh.
Clip-clop shoe reviews. The Armchair Detective.
Oh no, we'll save that
I
one.
recently came across Alan.
We'll save that one. The Clip-Clop Shoe Review.
Vinnicombe Kessinger. Clip-clop shoes and I love yous. A poem for my kissy love, Scotty Hottie.
Oh.
In a world where greatness gleams, there walks a man, a vision of dreams. His name is Scotty Hottie, and oh, how he shines, with virtues aplenty, in every line. Clip-clop, go my shoes, as I traverse the paths, with Scotty's muse. For in him, I find the virtues untold, a story of greatness, waiting to unfold. Let me sing of his kindness, pure and true, like a gentle breeze, he soothes the rue. In clip-clop shoes, he walks with grace, spreading warmth and love in every place. Compassion flows in his very veins, a healer of hearts, amidst life's pains.
I don't wear the shoes.
With empathy vast as the endless sea, he embraces all with love, with glee.
She wears the shoes.
Integrity, oh how it shines in his eyes, a beacon of truth, amidst worldly lies. In clip-clop shoes, he stands tall and strong, a pillar of honesty, all along.
She wears the shoes.
Courage, thy name is Scotty Hottie, in the face of adversity, he stands mighty. With clip-clop shoes, he marches on,
Not me.
fearless and bold, till the break of dawn. Intellect, a jewel in his crown, with wisdom deep, he wears his renown. In clip-clop shoes, he ponders and thinks, solving life's puzzles, with every blink. Creativity, oh what wonders he weaves, in the tapestry of life, he truly believes. With clip-clop shoes, he dances free, painting the world with his creativity. And love, ah love, his greatest art, it flows from him, right from the heart. In clip-clop shoes, he walks the mile, spreading love and joy, with every smile. So here's to Scotty Hottie, a man divine, in clip-clop shoes, he'll forever shine. A beacon of hope, a guiding light, in the tapestry of life, he's a sight. And as I walk in my clip-clop shoes, I'll follow his lead, I'll spread the news. For Scotty Hottie, he's a man of grace, and in him, I see the beauty of the human race. Where is Scotty Hottie? I want a kissy.
Damn. She's supposed to wear the clip-clop shoes.
Nickel Dam Kessinger. Clip-clop shoe reviews. In the dimly lit corner of the gallery, amidst the masterpieces of renowned artists, there hung a painting that stood out like a sore thumb. It depicted a small dog lounging on an armchair, but any resemblance to a canine was purely coincidental. The artist's attempt at capturing the essence of man's best friend had gone horribly awry, resulting in a comical monstrosity that elicited more laughter than admiration. The dog, if one could call it that, resembled a cross between a chicken and a mop that had seen better days. Its body was a shapeless blob of fur, with limbs that seemed to sprout haphazardly from its fluffy form. Its eyes were mismatched buttons, peering out from beneath a mop of unkempt fur that cascaded over its face like a waterfall of chaos. Perched upon an armchair that looked as though it had been salvaged from a dumpster, the dog appeared to be sinking into the upholstery, as if the mere act of sitting had proved too much for its feeble frame. Its legs dangled awkwardly over the edge, like limp noodles, while its tail stuck out at an odd angle, resembling a wilted flower in desperate need of water. But perhaps the piece de resistance of this abomination was the expression on the dog's face, or what passed for a face, anyway. Its mouth was a crooked line, twisted into a semblance of a smile that seemed more grimace than grin. Its eyes, if one could call them that, were two black voids that seemed to stare into the depths of your soul, filled with a mixture of confusion and existential dread. Despite its obvious flaws, or perhaps because of them, the painting never failed to elicit a chorus of laughter from anyone who beheld it. For in its absurdity lay a certain charm, a reminder that even the most terrible of creations could bring joy in their own peculiar way. And so the painting of the small dog on the armchair remained, a testament to the power of laughter and the beauty of imperfection.
I've got a big armchair. Oh yeah, I've got a dog. I've got a pedigree dog. As much chicken as I can eat.
Oh, the old days.
Nickel Dam Kessinger demands her kissy with Scotty Hottie. Alan Vinnicombe has made her really mad. She is going to crush him beneath her clip-clop shoes.
There you go. There you go. So how'd you like them apples? Have you had a good time? That's been the stream. I think that's been the stream. Thank you very much for the gifted subscriptions for the members. Thank you very much for the tippies, directly tippies. And congratulations to everyone who got gifted a membership today. I gifted some, didn't I, as well? Yay. There is members content on this channel. We are looking into Alan's credentials as a potential pusher, and they're not even fake credentials. Like, we are actually looking into that. So keep a lookout for those members videos. It's been a weird one, hasn't it? It's been a weird one. It's been a weird one. Probably get rid of Nicole Kessinger now. Probably just get rid of Nicole Kessinger now. I don't know. I mean, he has absolutely nosedived up to this point, hasn't he? And it can only get slightly worse for him. Thank you, Leslie, for the 5 Australian, mate. I've got to do a. We've got to do a Neighbours Day tomorrow. We've got to do a Neighbours Day. As I say, we're not finished with this as well. It is a difficult one because bringing legal things into it, you know, I really don't want to sort of deliberately create problems for everyone by breaking the law and contempt of court and all that. And Curious Cat's done a very good job of transcribing that. And I think that what we work on, as you can see, Nicole Kessinger can be brought to life through the power of artificial intelligence. So can everything else. And I've got people who are already arguing over which role they could actually be as an actor. So I've got voice actors lined up as well. We haven't cast anyone in the role of Alan quite yet because he's quite a specific voice to do, isn't he? But we're looking into different options. I'm looking dazed and hopeful. I'm quite tired myself. I'm quite tired. I was a bit poorless today. There's been a bit of poorless going round, isn't there? I kept saying this week I was going to go to doctors, but I didn't go to the doctors. I started to feel a bit better, but I've also felt a bit poorless, but I'm not complaining. I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful. I think overall, like the big story here is you go on the internet and you're a massive shit, and eventually everything comes back round to bite you, and you end up looking like a Burke in a care home. Like Alan looks like literally his life has been taken over by other people in order for him not to completely mentally collapse. That's what's happened. I mean, it all comes to the best of us sometimes. Things come on top and it's nice to have a support network. But do you know what I mean? Fucking hell. Like, he's so lucky that he got to go on holiday with his daughter and that she's prepared to help him with the monies. You know, as I say, I think he's probably handed over the house, but you know what I mean. As long as he doesn't overstay his welcome and really piss them off, we might get him back on YouTube. And if we're lucky, he might be convinced to do what's the most sensible thing in the world, which is to lighten the fuck up and do some shows about something a little bit lighter and brighter, and even entertain having some streams together. You know, we can watch Nonce Busters together on Rumble. Or he can be in it. You never know what's coming around the next corner. Speaking of that, how's Angry Addy? Yeah, Angry Addy's very popular on the channel, isn't he? So if he ever wants to return to public life, he knows where the spotlight is. Some people like the spotlight. Still waiting on a few. The things I still got to keep bringing you on this channel include Luke. Still waiting on his return from his holidays vlogs. There's still going to be some fun to be had there. Someone comes and has a pop at the Super Chuffer, tries to turn it all weird on me. Yeah, they're on it. The Eamon Holmes rabbit hole. Who's working for Eamon Holmes and why? We've still got, we're going to keep up with Foodie Beauty and another couple of people like her. I'm going to bring Julian Ryder back to the fold as well. So you're going to see some other interesting people. Obviously, we'll keep up with Alan. Like, we're going to find some narcissists, some grifters. I know that you won't want to watch every video. Oh no, but keep an eye on it. Some of them will be interesting to you. If we clear 1,000 views on a video, I'm happy. So if you see a video that's not got 1,000 views, watch it, you chuffer, because I'm not happy. But you know, this channel's just ticking along. It's just a bit of a hobby. It's a bit of fun. It's, you know, we're having fun on it, and you chuffers enjoy it, and you're all members, and there's members content, and it'll all carry on. So don't stress. The main thing, of course, for me, like as terms of a career, like, is Super Chuffer, and I'm really grateful that's moving forward as well. So overall, don't see this as like, oh, like it's sad that Alan's going away in a way. You know, it was the glory days of the halcyon days of him having a massive rant, AD, 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 AD. But you know, if he's not a complete idiot, then he doesn't have to completely ruin everything, and we can get a bit more of like
heels on my tippies.
Wrong button. We can get a bit more of
Torture the battery boy. Torture the battery boy.
You know, we want a bit of that now. That's what we need now, Alan.
Torture. Like, yeah, torture that. I remember Torture when I was a little tiny boy. I used to love Torture. Torture the battery boy.
3 tramadol and we'll do film night. Talk about our favourite films. Take 3 tramadol and we'll do our film night. The Muffin Man. So yeah, we've got a lot. We've got things. Don't worry. This channel will be fine. Everything will be fine. We will move into the future strong, powerful, having a good time, and Alan will sink into nothingness and have to just sort of watch it from the sidelines. We have won. I've said this a number of times in the past. That battle, like, he's been kicked off YouTube. Like, me and my battle with him, like, we have won. But he's got that other further battle, the court case with the Rusiks and stuff like that, that deeper thing. He's about to lose that too. We'll just keep an eye on it. It'll be good. So yeah, I'm really happy. I'm really grateful to all of you chuffers. It's good fun with you chuffers. We're having a good time. So long may it continue. Yeah, you've been good. This is where I say the last bit, isn't it? It's where I say you've been good, and if you can't be good, you're naughty. Like, I kind of feel like I'm leaving something unsaid, or maybe, like, if there's anything anyone wants to say now, speak now, forever hold your peace. But overall, I think, you know, it's been good. I think we've had a good time. Yeah, look out for me in the next couple of days on whichever platform, you know. Alan, yeah, I agree, Leslie. Alan won't stay away. He can't stay away. He will be back on social media. Like, he's made a deal with the devil insofar as his daughter said, you can't be doing all this nonsense. If I'm going to give you the money and you're going to stay at my house, you can't be doing all this nonsense. But he's itching to get back on. He's itching to get back on. Your battery exhausted. Work at 7. Yeah, get no nights. Chuffing out. Get no nights. Get your no nights. Don't stress when you're trying to go to nanites, though. It makes it worse. Take 3 tramadol. Take 3 tramadol and dream of Nicole Kessinger taking you to court in her clip-clop shoes. I put it to you, Mr. Vinnicombe, that you are in fact guilty of loving me too much. No, Nicole, I just want you questioned. Nicole Kessinger turns out to be the judge. Hopefully there's there's other things that can visit Alan in his dreams or nightmares. Hopefully there are other things that can visit Alan in his dreams or nightmares. Hey, we can all hope. We can all hope. Yeah, you be good, and if you can't be good, you're naughty.